Boys. We got us a good one today. So, this is the first time that I have ever done a this game versus that game in an actual live stream, okay? So this is going to be pretty interesting here. I've never really done this before. Usually do videos like this, right? But we're going to be doing some streams like this as well. MXGP3 is better, dude. One of the first chats. Right on, big dog. Right on, big dog. Okay, so we're going to be doing a direct comparison here. What's up, Zen? What's up, big dog? Direct comparison between both of these games because I think it is very critical that we have a little bit of, reflection back to what you used to have in these milestone games, right? I think that is beyond critical at this point because some of you boys have completely forgotten about where these games were all the way back in MXGP 3. Okay? So, yes, MX Bikes is better. Yes, it is, big dog. Yeah, MX Bikes straight showing these fucking AAA motocross companies how to do it, dude. You gotta love it. Shout out to Pabosa, the big dog. All right, let's get on a... let me get right here on this guy. Yeah. Boys, I appreciate you tuning in to another one. We're gonna do a little back and forth between both of the games, and I want to come back here to MXGP3 to directly look at some of these tracks and really see the differences, you know? All right, so take a look at this one right here. This is a pretty famous, they showed this in the early gameplay of MXGP 2021. Should have a pretty good idea of what it looks like and everything. So, what I want you to do here is just imagine for a second. I was looking at chat. Just imagine for a second this kind of track scaling. You see how the track's a little wider than it is in 21? You see that right there? See how the track's a little bit wider? You got a little bit more room to work. Got a little bit more room to move around. It's not so damn tight and narrow. I want you to imagine this right here, but with MXGP 2021's graphics. Okay? Could you imagine? That's the thing. With this kind of speed feeling to the game, you see how the speed of the game is just faster. It's just a little bit faster. It's actually, fun, Kind of interesting, isn't it? The physics don't absolutely spaz completely out on you every time you try to do anything in the game, right? That's another positive to MXGP3. Just another little thing, not like a big thing or anything. What's up, Moto Mickey? What's up, big dog? That little thing where the physics won't spaz out on you instantly and make you pop off in 2 seconds, that's something I'd call a positive, all right? But the only really thing, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you had this kind of gameplay, this kind of width to the track, this kind of speed to the feeling of the bike, but you had the graphics of MXGP 2021, bruh. I'm telling you, it wouldn't even be close. That's the only thing that is saving these newer milestone games is the graphic, upgrades that they've added to the games. That's literally the only thing. Yeah, they've added some more pre-made roughness, finally. They've added, inside ruts here and there, but in all reality, we should be to the point now where it's more based off of the terrain deformation than it is the pre-made. We really should be to that point in these milestone games now, but we're not. They're just now starting to give you that actual inside pre-made rut design vibe. And it's hilarious because it's like, dude, I need to get on here with some other riders so we can look at this deformation because it's something you need to see, okay? What's up, boys in chat? I see you. All right, let me get, and let me just show you how simple this menu is. Look at this right here. Single player, multiplayer, customized options, extra, downloadable, and exit. And you go up and down between all these things. It's so simple. It's so simple and just works. It's not overcomplicated. It's not bumpers to go up and down. It's just simple UI crap. You know what I mean? It's just simple. All right, let's get in here on this track with some other riders. Yeah. Look at this right here. Look at all your options, right? You still have the Pro Physics option. You gotta love how they came out with a Pro MXGP game after this to act like you didn't have a Pro option here in MXGP 3 when you did. It's just a little cute thing to it as well, okay? All right, let's get these boys on like hard difficulty, single race. 20 laps is the max. Okay, look at all the weather options here. Weather conditions. You got clear, cloudy, intermittent rain, if I can speak English, rain, wet track, and then random. That's 6 different options. You don't have that many options in MXGP 2021, period. Okay, there's another little thing to you. All right. Okay. Got the right dude. All right. It's just hilarious, dude. I mean, when you go back to these days and realize, like, Milestone, what are you doing? You were already kind of on a pretty decent path to turn your games into something really cool, but you've just taken so many. Every time Milestone takes a step forward, they take a step back. So then they never really get anywhere. You see what I'm saying? It's just so bizarre how they did that, how they've done that. But like, I mean, you're still going to have just as much or more fun in this game. Like, that little bit of roughness and that little bit of inside rut pre-made shit they've done, I mean, what it does is it makes it feel like you're playing like a super outdated track design kind of feeling with MXGP 2021, but just with like super modernized graphics, you know? And that's the thing, like with Milestone being this realistic graphics kind of company, you would think at this point the terrain deformation would be like their #1 goal, you know? You would at least think that, but the reality of it is they've not advanced their terrain deformation since MXGP 3. This was the last Milestone game you actually had a real advancement to the deformation, period. I'm just telling you, you'll see it when I get some laps in here. But, you know, obviously this game is older than MXGP 2021. So, you know, obviously your graphical level is not going to be where it is in 21, but like, that's the thing, though. That's precisely what I'm saying. If you slap those 21 graphics on MXGP3 gameplay, bruh, I mean, this would be like, you could make so many arguments about how this game was actually better than MXGP 2021 if they both had the same graphical level. You know? Like, obviously, the newer Milestone games graphically, yeah, they're getting better and better and better and better. Graphics-wise, that's never been a question about it. But it's everything else that has seemed to taken steps back. And look at the deformation on the fucking second lap. Look at that. All you dumbasses getting tricked up and thinking MXGP 2021 is some big dog deformation game. No, the fuck it's not. This is MXGP 3. Dude says this looks like a PS2 game. Well, yeah, this was Milestone's 3rd dirt bike game ever. You know? Came out like, what, 6 years ago? I don't know. It's been a while. But, again, now Milestone's on game number 11. Dirt bike game number 11. This was their 3rd one. So the fact that there's even could potentially be this argument of, well, there's better elements in MXGP 3 in a game that was their 3rd game compared to their 11th game, that's a problem right there in itself. Anytime you can look back to a game 5-6 years previous in a franchise and you can look at elements and say that's better, that's a problem right there. That's very similar to the Call of Duty franchise. You know, you can look back to the original Modern Warfare 2, World at War, and there's just things that are just better. It's the same kind of comparison. Like, and look at these tracks. I just can't get over the width of this track. Like, how much better this is. It doesn't feel so cramped down and everything's so tight. It's so much smoother gameplay. It's not like, you know, jank feeling, get on your brakes and the physics trying to spaz out on you constantly. It's just smoother gameplay than 21. Without a doubt, it's smoother gameplay. It doesn't feel like you have to ride around the physics bugs to get around a track. That's not how this game feels. It feels like the physics, you know, obviously they're more restrictive. Again, that goes back to this was Milestone's third game, okay? Third dirt bike game. These are definitely more restrictive, but at the same time, they're nowhere near as buggy. They're nowhere near as janky. You're not going to have these weird little pop-offs, you know, every 5 seconds just because you did one little thing. It's bizarre on MXGP 21, dude. It is bizarre how they made that feeling where it's just like, you pop off everywhere. It's like the MXGP Pro, but worse. Popping off everywhere, dude. Like, yeah, you can get around the tracks and ride around the tracks without popping off on MXGP 2021, but it has that feeling of, like, you have to do everything you can to ride around the physics bugs. That's a problem. That's a straight-up problem. That's not skill gap. That's janky physics bugs. Do you see the difference? This game doesn't have that feeling. It just straight up doesn't. Like, what's up, Abraham? What's up, big dog? Sorry, boy. I'm looking in chat. I'm just trying to I'm on a point here. You know, when Spency Boy gets on a point, he's got to prove it, right? T-break. Hang on, boys. Let's slow down. T-break. But just take a look right here. Look at this deformation, dude. We're on lap number, 3? 4? We're on lap 4 out of 20, boys. 4 out of 20, baby. Oh, man. Oh, looky there. Spency Boy's the legend when he's not even touching the controller. It's too good, man. But I just want you to take a look. You had this level of deformation in MXGP 3. Do not let Milestone trick you up. Do you not realize how, you know, this deformation right here should have just continued? It should have stayed the same with going to MXGP Pro, but then just continued to got advanced. You know, every MXGP game after this, it should have just got advanced more and more and more. You know, bigger, better, more feeling to the deformed ruts and make it where it actually make deformed roughness. You know, we should be to the point now with MXGP 2021, it should be damn near to the reflex level deformation at this point, without a doubt. That's where Milestone should be. But the reality of it is it's went backwards. They've started stripping it away from you game by game by game after MXGP 3. And then it was literally not even there on MXGP 2020. And now they've finally given back to you sort of that visual deformation. But the reality of it is it should be so much more at this point than what it is on MXGP 2021. So much more. It's unbelievable when you realize this about it. It's like, what? You got to remember, this game was made like 5-6 years ago, dude. It's just like, how do you... I don't understand it, man. I really don't. What's up, boys in chat? I see you. What's up? But, like, just take a little gander, you know? And imagine this kind of deformation with the graphics of 21, and there would be no difference at all, except this would be a little more physical deformation than even 21 is. But, like, if this game had the graphics of 21, oh my gosh. They literally could have just re-released MXGP 3 with MXGP 2021's graphics, and I swear to God, it would have been a better game overall than MXGP 2021 was, period. They could have literally re-released, they could have copy and pasted these exact physics all the way around, these exact track designs, this exact deformation, but just added the graphical level of MXGP 2021, and I promise you, you could have considered that a better game than what 2021 ended up being. Promise you. There's just so much more flow to this gameplay. That's what they've totally missed out on, is the flow. I'm going to run a couple more laps here because this deformation will continue. It don't just stop right here, dog. You know how on 21 you ride like 6, 7, 8, 9 laps and it basically just stays the same? You just kind of push those visible ruts to a different... You didn't even really push them, you just made them show up in a different spot, but like... You don't really get a deeper rut after 6, 7, 10 laps, but you do get that in this game to a certain extent. You do start to get that in this game to a certain extent. It's actually better deformation than 21. It's better. Period. What's up, Bob? What's up, big dog? But yeah. That's the part that's just, it is unbelievable when you realize that. Oh, man. You see how I'm just getting around the track? It doesn't look like the bike's spazzing out on me. It doesn't look like the physics are spazzing out on me. Like when I go around a track on 21. It doesn't look like any of that in this game. You see how even the core to the physics are just more completed. They're like, yeah, they're more restrictive, but they're also more completed. That's what makes 21 so annoying to play, because it feels like the physics are not even completed. They're like not even finished. Look at that though, dude. Oh my gosh. Wow, 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 boys. Something else when you go back to this. It really is. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a slap in the face that they're just now giving you actual pre-made in 21, because like I'm saying, you should be to the point where the deformation is damn near doing everything in those modern day MXGP games. This should be doing just about everything. They should have it developed enough to where it's turning a flat, smooth track into a totally muffed up, hardcore inside rut, roughness, kickered. You know, it should be doing all that shit in 21, but it's not. You see the problem? It's not doing any of that. So, I mean, even right there, look at that. You got a little triple in to that little roller rhythm right there. Dude, if this game had graphics like 21, it wouldn't even be up for debate, dude. It wouldn't even be up for debate, bruh. Look at the ruts. Oh, man. And, you know, I'm not saying even these ruts on MXGP3, I'm not saying these are like, oh my God, you can super feel these ruts. Even these are like, you can barely feel it, but at least you can barely feel it. You know, that's the thing when you talk about these milestone games. It's you know, it's how low can the bar go? So you have to say things in a way that sounds kind of silly, but it's like, you know, when I say you can actually feel these ruts, this ain't like feeling terrain deformation on reflex, but it's way the hell more than you're going to feel the deformation on MXGP 2021 or 2020. You know? You're just going to feel this way more. Look at that. Look at the inside right here. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's literally built a full inside berm right there in that corner. Milestone, what the fuck are you doing? What have you been doing? Oh, that's right. Nothing with your terrain deformation. It's kind of funny. I mean, look at this. Oh, man. Oh, man. It actually, see, that's the difference. In this game right here, it actually feels like it's somewhat changing the track itself. A lot of you guys, seems like you got a real problem with separating something that's actually visible. Let me see if I can talk here. T's hitting good, boys. You know T's hitting good when you start to stutter up a little bit. You know, there's a total difference in something being visible and physical, okay? That's like, and it's so hard for people to tell that difference because when you get that graphical level of 21 and, you know, you get that sort of feeling, it's so easy to trick the brain into thinking they're actually feeling it when they're not. That's something I've noticed such a big element in these modern milestone MXGP games. It's so easy for them to trick you. And another little thing they've added in MXGP 2021, if you haven't noticed, they've added a lot more vibration to the controller. Like this game right here almost doesn't have basically no vibration. I mean, there's no feedback in the actual vibration of the controller here. They've added that like crazy to MXGP 2021. Another little thing to trick your brain into thinking you're actually feeling physical ruts when you're not. Okay? That's another little trick Milestone's pulling on you boys. All right? They've added a lot more controller vibration to MXGP 2021. It's another little way to scam you into thinking you're feeling it when you're not actually feeling it. Okay? It's funny when you recognize all these tactics. What's up, TKO? What's up, big dog? I watched a couple of your vids, dude. You're popping off, dude. You're popping off, dude. But you see what I'm saying? That Milestone's got to use all these little tactics and techniques like more controller vibration, you know, more graphical level, more of a visual terrain deformation. They got to do all these things because they know good and well deep down their terrain deformation is nowhere near where it should be, physical-wise. You see what I'm saying? So they got to do all these other little techniques and things to trick you into thinking that it is when it's not. And it tricks a lot of you boys. It tricks a lot of you boys. They have a way about doing things, and you know they've certainly tricked up a lot of guys. But look at this inside rut right here. This was not here on the first lap. You see that whole inside built up looking shit? Look at the ruts. Look at that. I mean, you know, just look at it. You know what I mean? All you got to do is look at it. Just look at it. Let's go to another track here. Oh, man. And, you know, this game has where when you hit a button, like in the menus, it just takes you there. You don't have to hold the button down for fucking 5 seconds to do any little thing in the game. There's no left-right bumper. It is so simple to go through these menus in this game. It's so simple. Why have they overcomplicated the menus in these games? I have no idea. I have no clue. Let's go to a different track here. Let's get on another one that I can kind of directly remember from, gonna pop, got a little assing, dude. Let's see here. Let's get on this one right here. Pretty unbelievable when you go back and realize this. And, you know, it's like something changed in the Milestone company. Oh, shit. How did this go to rain? What the fuck? Hang on. I don't know how that went to rain mode there. Hold on. Hold the phone. What are we doing here? How the hell did we get on rain mode? How the hell did we get on rain mode? What the... Oh, I had it on random weather mode. Okay, my bad. I was showing the different weather options there previously. Here's the problem with the first Supercross game. It didn't even have a free ride track in it when it first came out. At all. That was my... That right there is... Whew, that's unacceptable for a AAA motocross game. Straight up. You know, I feel like, yeah, that's really what it comes down to. If they would have built off these physics from like MXGP 3, Supercross 1, and they just kind of stuck with that but developed it more and didn't necessarily go and change their ways, you know, when they went to MXGP Pro and then obviously like Supercross 2, if they would have kept these kind of physics feeling but like advanced it, that, you know, that would have probably been the way to go. I mean, it really, now that I look at it, them trying to change their physics so much has created so many more problems for them at the core that now they've kind of lost their identity with their physics, right? They don't really have an identity anymore. They did have an identity back here with MXGP 3, Supercross 1, and then it all started to change for them, and they've not really been able to get that identity back. That's something that I've noticed here. You know, when you try to dig in there, like I've always told Milestone, you're going to have to dig deep in this physics system to really fix it and change it, which is true. But the problem is when you're making 2 motocross games a year, 2 dirt bike games a year, it makes everything harder to complete in that amount of time. That's what's caught up to Milestone at this point. They've not had the time when they go in there and they dig down into those physics systems. They've not had the time to really properly implement it, properly get it to a fun point. Then they have to rush it out the door. And that's what's created that bizarre, weird, completely different, janky, buggy, incompleted physics system feeling. That, at least from what I can tell, that seems like that's what's happened here. You know, back in MXGP 3 days, this was before they was even making the Supercross games, right? So they were only making 1 dirt bike game a year versus 2 dirt bike games a year. So theoretically, back in these days, they actually had more time to work on these games than they do nowadays, right? Which is pretty interesting when you look back and you think about all that and you realize that, because it's like, man, I mean, they've tried some different things that have, you know, worked for the better, you know, like as far as giving you more of that forward and backwards hucking, pulling. You know, you definitely have more of a forwards and backwards leaning feeling on MXGP 2021, but that's not where it was introduced. They started getting that in like Supercross 3, 4. You know, they've definitely done some things, you know, to advance these physics, but as a whole, like I say, every time they take a step forward, it's like they take 2 steps backwards with something else. Like the deformation or the track design's getting too narrow and slowing down the gameplay. You know, they can't seem to just get it all together at one time. That's the thing I've noticed. Like, they, for whatever reason, they just can't get it all together for one game. It's like one of the games will have one cool element, but then 2 other things are shittier. And then another game will have this cool thing, but then 3 other things are shittier than the game before. You know, they can't fucking get anywhere. They just can't get anywhere. What's up, Ashton? What's up, big dog? Yeah, in the whips of Supercross 1, that was the other thing. Did they start to really advance them from this game? Yes, they did. But I still feel like with Supercross 1, it was hitting a button and playing the same animation over and over and over, which was that limits you. You know, that's a very limiting thing to the first Supercross game. Another thing to the very first Supercross game, you can overjump or underjump anything in the game and not pop off of the bike. That's a problem. Even for an arcade motocross game, that's a problem. Now, obviously, they started taking that pop-off element a little too far. Once they got to MXGP Pro, it just felt janky. You know, you got to make a system where it'll pop you off, but not feel janky when it does it, you know? You got to have it where it feels like, okay, I probably really overjumped that jump too far, and yep, I deserve to pop off. Or, okay, you know, I really underjumped that main Supercross triple in a terrible way. I deserve to pop off. A lot of these milestone games that do have a pop-off system to them, it doesn't feel like you should have popped off when you do pop off. Like on MXGP Pro, when you hit a 5-foot jump and pop off, it's kind of like, what the fuck? You know, what's really going on here? The same way with MXGP 2021, right? That's another... Any little weird thing you even remotely, any little thing you do on the bike, you can pop off for no reason. For absolutely no reason. That's the thing where I feel like Reflex really got that balance between popping off when you should, but not popping off everywhere. You know, it had a really good balance to that. There's all these core elements to these arcade motocross games. If you don't have that balance to it, it pretty much jacks up the whole game, you know? Like, and that's the thing with Supercross 1. I mean, yeah, it had a lot better feelings to it and more movement to it, right? But when it came to the pop-off system, it was non-existent. You didn't pop off anywhere. That's a problem, right? Your whips in the first Supercross game were literally hitting a button and playing the exact same animation over and over and over. Granted, you could throw it further than you could in a game like this, but still, it had no variation to it. It had nothing more than turning both your thumbsticks opposite directions to toss that bike over the exact same way every single time. You know, there is still some major negatives to the first Supercross game. I just think it was the first dirt bike game where Milestone really started to get a little bit more of that jump fun factor, which totally changed everything for them. You know, they started to actually get some jump fun factor, you know, scaling, separation, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I think when you look back, it definitely boosts the first Supercross game a lot higher in that sense, because ever since then, they've been trying to implement all these other little features that haven't really worked as well. You know, they've had some good elements here and there, but as a whole, it's not been the best. But yeah. And, you know, you have to have played these games. You have to have been around when all these different games came out, you know. I think it's a lot more difficult for these newer dudes getting into these different milestone games. They don't realize. You know what I mean? They don't realize what we've been through. Right? They have a very hard time seeing that. And Milestone is making bank off of that element of it. You know, they make so many games, 2 games a year. It's very easy to get so many games in between a certain game that you forget how good certain elements of games like MXGP 3 were, right? And it leads into that forgetting where we've been and what we've went through. And you see that right there? You see how it popped off? Right? If you overjump a jump to that level on Supercross 1, you're not going to pop off. Right? See, I feel like with MXGP 3, you had some of that balance that I'm talking about with Reflex, right? You had some of these core critical arcade motocross game features had more of that balance to them feeling. I just think this game, you know, obviously with being Milestone's 3rd game, it was still more down that restrictive road with a lot of the physics feeling to this game. Had some pretty good balance to certain elements of the game, but it was still back in the more restrictive physics days, right? And it's very unfortunate because if you had the movement that you have now with this kind of physics system and the graphics that you have now in 2021, whoo, buddy. These games will be on a whole nother level, dude. But they're really not, like, at this point, they're just not. And it is what it is, man. I mean, I honestly feel like I just don't know where they're going. I don't know where they're going. They're still doing this 2 games a year. They're still charging you $60 AAA. I mean, was MXGP 2021? I know how they're making some of those games on the newer consoles like $70. They're making them $69.99 giggity. They're making them an extra $10 now. I'm not sure if that's how it was for MXGP 2021 on like the newer consoles like PS5. Let me know in chat if they were. But these are still full AAA priced games. Even MX vs. ATV, when they made a game that only had half of the content, like MX vs. ATV Supercross, they only charged you half price. They knew what the fuck they were doing, But Milestone hasn't figured that out yet. Well, they have figured that out. They just know what they're doing. And they're pulling every penny out of you because they can use this. Well, we're the official, we got all the official stuff. So that adds to our game, right? Same pitfalls with the FIFAs and the Maddens and it's kind of a joke at the end of the day, Sup, boys, just tuning in. I appreciate you. Spency boys sucking down this tea right now. You already know. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about the fucking Mud game. Yeah, there was another Milestone game before the MXGP games. We're on Milestone Dirt Bike game number 12. Holy shit. Milestone game number 12. Dirt bike game number 12. I mean, oh man. Thank you for reminding me about that. Whenever I made all of my arguments about we're on Milestone game number whatever, I completely forgot they had another one before the MXGP games. Whoo-wee. Oh man, guys, that is something else. Let me count them all right here. Let me get on a track first, and then we'll count them here. Okay, so you got Mud, MXGP 1, 2, 3, MXGP Pro 19, 20, 21. So this is the 8th Motocross game from Milestone. Okay, then you have Supercross 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is the 12th. MXGP 2021 is the 12th Milestone Dirt Bike game. 12, boys. But no. Let's keep defending Milestone here. Let's get... Oh, me, oh my. Oh, man. And that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Where does it go from here? Where do these games go from here? Like, are they going to continue to keep this small, narrow scaling bullshit that they have in MXGP 2021? Are they going to continue that? Because, and it's, whoa. You got to think, this is, dude, when you've been around these arcade motocross games for so long and you played so much of this shit, you realize things like to have the tightness of the scaling of the MXGP 2021 and 2020 and even 19, but I think it's even tighter in 21, right? You can't have more of a speed feeling to the bike. You know, everything has to work together. Your scaling works with the speed of the game, and that works with the deformation, and that works into the physics, and that works into the balance of the jump, you know, skill gap, and the ruts and the corners, and everything works together in a way. So it's like they've kind of gotten themselves in a bit of a pickle here, you could call it, because there's really nowhere for them to go other than making the scaling bigger, making the speed of the game faster, making the deformation more physical, aka more like MXGP3. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the only way that they can advance their games, is to get it more like the tracks and the deformation everything was and the speed of the game was back in these days. That's really the only way they can go from here. That's the only way this shit can go from here. Isn't that kind of funny? Isn't that kind of funny? And I mean, it's like, oh man. They're not changing their ways with making less games a year. You know, like making just a Supercross game one year and an MXGP game the next. They're still not doing any of that. They're still doing 2 games a year. So if you think you're going to really get a difference of, you know, actual content or proper development to these games and these future milestone games, I think that's pretty doubtful, because they're still making so many games a year. What makes you think anything's going to be any different going forward? I mean, you see what I'm saying? I just don't see where we're going to get anywhere at this point. Right? Supercross 5 looks literally, when I say it looks the exact same as the previous Supercross, I'm saying exactly. Oh, there we go. Finally popped off. You see how in this game, you know, you can have some close calls. You know, you can have some moments where you almost pop off, but you don't. And then every once in a while, you'll have that moment where you do fully pop off the bike, and it feels like, okay, I probably should have popped off right there. That's not how the first Supercross game is. You never pop off anywhere, and that's also not how MXGP 2021 is. MXGP 2021 feels like you pop off everywhere over the stupidest little movements that you make on the bike. Feels more like a bug than an actual skill gap element to the physics. You see? That's what I mean by this game had more of a balance to that. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's got more of a balance. Feels like when you pop off, feels like you should have popped off. You see? It's unbelievable how they had more of that balance feeling back in these days. It's crazy. Crazy. Don't even make sense, bruh. It don't even make sense, bruh. But, you know. Yeah. They're adding split screen to Supercross 5. Let's get hyped, bro. MX vs. ATV, you're going to have to save the day, dude. You're going to have to save the day, bruh. Please take the time to work on Legends. Please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. We need a savior out here. Actually, we already have it. It's called Reflex, MX Bikes, and MX Simulator. But, you know, I mean for these certain boys that haven't gotten into those games. You see what I'm saying? Once you get into those games, you realize this is actual shit. Going to, like, MXGP 2021 and stuff like that. Oh, man. But look at that. It's just so much smoother gameplay. That's what I can't get over about MXGP 2021. It's not even smooth gameplay. It's not even smooth physics. It's stop and go and turn and the bike's fighting you in, I don't know, it's just weird. It is just weird. But like, I mean, I would 10 to 1 rather play this than MXGP 2021. 10 to 1. This actually somewhat keeps me engaged. You know, there's some kind of engagement here. I feel like I'm actually moving on the bike and not going literal molasses level speed. I feel like I'm actually moving. Some of these jumps feel like I'm actually coming off of the ground at least a little bit. The gameplay is somewhat smooth. The deformation is actually doing something physical. Oh, man. Like, what happened, Milestone? I mean, something must have happened. You know, this is before they went to the very first Supercross game. Something happened between this company, between then. I don't know exactly what happened. Here, we got to go get on this bullshit sometime in this live stream. I don't want to do it, but this is a versus video live stream here, so fuck. Oh, I don't even want to click on this stupid-ass game, but we got to come in here and make some comparisons. Oh. I've still yet to see an update for this game on Steam, by the way. If any of you guys have seen an update for this game on Steam, let me know, because I've not seen one yet. So I still think we're running off of the original version of this game right here. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right, let's get right back on that fucking track. We're already on it, dude. We're already on it. We're doing a fucking realistic race. Okay. Yeah, I got them, boy. Yeah. Let me just, for the sake of comparison, get back on this big dog. So we're on a Cowie and both of them, same shit. Okay. Hell yeah, I got my tea, James. James out here, the big dog. He's sipping on that tea, baby. He's sipping on that tea. I'm so glad. Let's just give a round of applause to all of you boys that actually understand arcade motocross gaming. Thank God. I was beginning to lose all hope. Thank God some of you boys know what the hell's going on here. Thank God. Oh, thank God. Let me make sure I got this all set right here. Yeah. 10. Yeah. All right. Oh, shit. I don't think let me back this up. You gotta love how you still can't hit the start button when you're on the fucking line. You gotta love that. Oh, modern gaming in 2021, dog. If I hit restart, does it take me back to the pit? Yeah. I got to put this on short gear ratio here. All right. Shout out to all of you boys, though. I'm telling you, like, I'm seeing this massive crowd of people that are getting caught up in all of this modern gaming bullshit, right? They're getting caught up in this accepting less for more. A lot of the Call of Duty boys are very caught up in that. A lot of the Madden boys are very caught up in that. You know? And it's sad to see because gaming was like a whole different thing. See, this is what pisses me off the most. This is not even what I remember as gaming. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember the days from like the early 2000s to the fucking late 2000s. Those are the gaming days that I remember. That's gaming to me. And if you didn't experience those times back in them days, whoo, You missed out, dog. You really, I'm telling you, you missed out, dude. Because, oh, man. They were a whole different level of content. Oh, it was just unbelievable. Even down to your, like, Mortal Kombat games and your Call of Duty games and your Battlefield Bad Company. Don't even take me there, dude. Don't even take me there right now, dude. Oh, man. So, your motocross games, let's just think about what we got in the 2000s, okay? MX Unleashed, MX versus ATV Unleashed, MX versus ATV Untamed, Reflex, okay? You had a lot of your other little weird side series motocross games that were kind of fun back in them days. You had a lot of little side, like PS2, you know, dirt bike racing games back in those days that were a lot of fun to go fuck around on. It's just, man. And all of those games were your standard AAA priced games. They were not like, oh, well, we're giving you all this content, so we're going to make this game $200. No, it was the same price. That's the thing I can't get over. It's the same. They're giving you half the content for the same price. They're giving you half of the game for the same price. They're giving you half of the improvements and polish and everything for the same price. It's highway robbery. It's Mad Max level, stealing the gas, highway robbery. Boy, I just watched some of those old school Mad Max movies on TV. Whoo-wee! Those were fucking kick-ass, dude. Mad Max 1, 2, 3, baby. Ooh! If you haven't seen those old movies, whoo! You need to go do it, man. But anyways, like, as you can see here, like, yeah, do you have more movement out of the bike, forward and backwards? Yes, you do. You do have. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, so the controller vibration. This is a big thing to MXGP 2021. The controller vibration. This is the most vibration I feel like I've ever felt in any milestone dirt bike game. Okay? And when you go over this little roughness, right? See, oh shit. I can see where people are thinking they're feeling this deformation. No, you're feeling the controller vibrate. Oh, milestone. Boy, they're trying hard to trick you guys. More controller vibration. Okay. So when you're, it kind of does a little bit of vibration even when the bike is not actually hitting anything terrain-wise. It's giving you that vibration feeling. You realize there's a difference in vibration on the controller and actual feedback on the bike itself? You know, that's two different things. But, again, people that don't understand these motocross games have a hard time separating those things. They have a hard time realizing all these ruts that you see right here, that's a totally different thing than terrain. That's not even changing the terrain. It's not. It is not changing the terrain at all. It is adding a visual rut on top of the terrain that is already there. It is not actually cutting down into the terrain itself. That's what's got you boys real confused into thinking you're actually feeling this deformation, right? Because you have more controller vibration. You've got a little bit more pre-made micro roughness, which is not the deformation. Okay, those are two completely different things. Oh, you gotta love it how you gotta come in here and spell this shit out for these guys. Two different things, okay? But that's my whole point, though. It's not the deformation that you're feeling. You're feeling all of these other things. Do you see the difference? Oh, man. And just to, give you an example here, you see these bigger inside ruts that they have here? You do realize that Milestone should have given you that level of pre-made inside ruts on MXGP Pro at the latest. You should have been having that level of pre-made. It shouldn't have took getting all the way to MXGP 2021 before you... See, we're past that. We're past that, dog. You should be to this point where the deformation itself is making ruts of this size on the track, not pre-made. Do you see? Do you see where we're at here? Oh, man. So much slower. So much slower. Look how fucking... Oh, man. This is definitely more narrow, tighter track scaling than you had in MXGP3. For sure. It's not even a question. Look how tight this is. And I don't mean tight in a good way. I mean shitty. Like too narrow, too tight. Open up the track scaling a little bit. Like, look at the bike. It doesn't even want to turn. They've got a bug here where when you're trying to, you got the bike up on a little bit of an incline, whether that be a rut or a hill or whatever, it does something to the physics where it makes it even harder to turn the bike. I don't know what the fuck it's doing with that. I don't know what it's doing there, but oh man. Look at the bike. Okay, so hit a 3-foot single and land 5% sideways, and the bike will spaz out like it's a literal crotch rocket. Make it make sense. Oh, wait, you can't. See, that kind of dumb little shit right there just didn't happen back in the MXGP3 days. It just didn't happen. Look at... Oh, me, oh my. What's up, Whip Everything? What's up, big dog? We got the dudeskies out here popping off with the T emojis. Oh, man. That fucking T break, that calls for a T break. Let's sit right here and see what these dudes are going to do. See those ruts right there? You do realize that that's not actually digging down in the terrain. I mean, I just want people to really... They got to really take that to heart. Tea session, boys. If you got that tea beside you, it's fucking time, baby. Ooh, when that tea hits good, ooh, there ain't nothing better, dude. You notice how when each one of these guys goes through this area right here, you see how that's not digging down. It's not actually doing anything. Do you see that? It's just changing where that visual rut is. It's not digging down at all. It's not. Like, I'm telling you right now, it's not digging down at all. Sipping on coffee, bro. It's all I got. Hey, at least you got that caffeine going in, you know what I mean? At least you got that caffeine going in, dog. Yeah, I actually drink coffee, like, every once in a while. Coffee will definitely put you on another level than tea, but it also has some negatives to it. I feel like you're a lot more likely to crash off of coffee. And obviously, if you have sugar and everything else, then you're getting all of that going on. Coffee can make you feel kind of sick if you don't really have food on your system. Tea doesn't really have those sort of negatives to it, but tea gets you hyped up in a different kind of way than coffee does. Coffee literally, dude, I could make like 10 videos in a day after drinking coffee, but then I would literally pass out and damn near die afterwards, right? Whereas tea kind of just gives you that nice little advantage. It's not like a super advantage, but it just gives you just a little bit of oomph without giving you too much, you know? That's where tea comes into play, baby. The best part of waking up is Lipton tea in my cup. Holy shit. Yeah, I can only handle coffee like 2 or 3 times a week. It seems like I've tried to do that before multiple times, where you start getting on that every morning, drinking the coffee every morning. Seems like when I do that, my headspace starts getting a little clouded. You know? Something about it kind of makes me off balance in my head when I drink coffee every single day for like more than a week. You know? Whereas tea, I can drink tea every single day for years upon years upon years, and nothing really negative happens. You know what I mean? But tea is kind of like beer. You got to get, especially unsweet tea. Oh my God. You know, it's definitely an acquired taste. Faux show. Like, the first time I drank tea, I'm pretty sure I wasn't a big fan of it, but same way with beer, you know? It's like, oh God, is this really how this tastes? And then over time, it's like the fucking greatest thing ever, because it's got a little bit of, isn't that weird? Dude, that's so weird. That acquired taste thing is such a weird thing that happens with the human brain. Whereas, like, if you go drink root beer, on the other hand, that's just pretty motherfucking good right out the gate. If you go drink coffee that's not black coffee, obviously, it's pretty good right out the gate. Black coffee is a little more acquired taste vibe. You gotta love how we're not even talking about the games anymore. Holy shit. Spency boy can make it pop off, not even talking about the game out here. Oh, here we go. You boys, I'm waiting to see a physical difference in this track right here. I'm waiting on it. I'm not sure what lap they're on, but I think it's because it's all based off of minutes. It doesn't even show you what lap you're on at all. Yeah. It takes a while to work yourself up into the unsweet tea level. Oh, okay, another thing I want to explain right here. So, you see how that rut looks like it's doing something on the face itself? Let me get jacked real quick. See how it looks like it, and it did this in a couple of the Supercross games too, where it looks like it's actually tearing down that jump face. But that's the thing. It looks like it's doing something. You don't actually feel that. You know what I mean? It's not making a kicker on the jump face or lowering down the jump face physically to where you can't hit the same jump that you would beforehand. It's visually. I don't know how Milestone managed to do that, where they make it visually. It's fucking visual, dude. It looks like it's actually changing so much on the track, and it's not. It's simply not. That is so bizarre to me. It's like Milestone, you put all that time in to make it look visually like it's doing all this shit. You could have just put the time into making it actually physically affect the track, and that would have helped you. You see what I'm saying? But people have a hard time separating that, right? Oh my gosh. But look at that. Looks like it's got that jump face just muffed up, dog. Like Reflex on Sandwick muffed up that jump face. And in reality, you could strip away all that visual shit right there, and I swear to God, if you could look at just the terrain, it's not changed. It is not changed at all. I would love to be able to look at just the terrain whenever I'm going around a track in this game. I would love to be able to do that. It would show you boys a lot. It would show you boys a lot about this. Look at these bullshit ass looking ruts. Milestone, you've outdone yourself here, dude. You have done the biggest visual trick with terrain deformation that has ever been done in any motocross game ever. We got to give a little round of applause for Milestone for tricking everybody into thinking this is actual terrain deformation. Just a little round of applause. Really love how you scam your fan base, Milestone. It's really funny. And boy, they eat it up. They eat it up like hotcakes, boy. Good one, Milestone. Good one, dude. Way to scam everybody, bruh. And it's like, even if there was a little bit of a physical feeling to this shit, you know, when you get it, like, when you get to the end of the longest kind of race you can run in this game, even if you could get to where you started to feel it just a little bit, you still have to remember, this is how many games after MXGP 3? 4? So even if it was where you could feel it just a little bit, you do realize we should be so many levels past that. That's what makes it even more unacceptable. We should be so many levels past this, boys. Oh, man, oh, man. The only thing I can think of when I'm sitting here playing this game is like, I would rather just play MXGP 3. That's literally the only thing I can think of right here. Somebody was saying that they didn't even have Alpine Star Tech 10s in this. Let me take a look here. Let me see here real quick. Let's go to the outfit. Okay, this is where the Tech 7s. Yeah, Milestone. You know, Tech 10s, you know, that thing? That'd be kind of sick. Who the fuck wants to run Tech 7s? Like, what the oh my god. There's another thing that just didn't really make it into my review videos. There's another little thing right there. Oh my god. Alright, let's go back to MXGP 3. Let's go take a look. Let's see what all customization MXGP 3 had. I'm just curious. Spency Boy's just curious out here. Let's go take a look, because I can't even remember really exactly what was in MXGP 3. Let's take a look. Boys, I appreciate y'all boys hopping in here to another stream. Means the world to the Galaxy Boy. Damn, big trucks outside. Big trucks outside. It means the universe to the Galaxy Boy. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Let's see what kind of customization this had. Curious to go back and look. I haven't looked at it in a really long time. Let's see what we got here. Tech 10s. Oh, boy. That is an interesting little development here. Breaking news, guys. You had Alpine Star Tech 10s in MXGP 3, and you don't have Tech 10s in MXGP 2021. The argument is over. MXGP3 is a better game as a whole than MXGP 2021 for its time, period. It's not even up for debate. I don't want to hear anything else about it. Boy, you gotta love shit like that. Like, what the fuck, Milestone? I mean, what? Somebody make it make sense, because I certainly can't. Oh, man. It's shit like that. And then you get these big-time, motocross YouTubers that all these MXGP games keep coming out, and they just keep acting like it's all good, dog. Nothing too wrong with this new MXGP game, dude. Oh, some of you motocross YouTubers, you're something else, dude. I tell you, you're a different breed, dude. I don't know any other way to explain it, but you are an entirely different breed to not point out shit like this. Make sure it's got me on the damn faux fatty. Make sure I'm on the faux fatty. What the? You could go in here and select the actual... Okay. That's crazy. So you could have your custom rider on the official MXGP and MXGP2 bikes. Can you even do that in MXGP 2021? I don't think so. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. That is an interesting little thing. That is certainly interesting. Okay. That is something else. Big new things, boys. Big new things. Tech 10's confirmed as $5 DLC. Dude, I would not be shocked in the slightest micro percentage of a way if Milestone came out and said Tech 10's $5 DLC. That wouldn't even faze me. That'd be like, oh, yeah, that's what Milestone does. I'm just saying, that wouldn't even surprise me, dude. Oh, you gotta love it, man. Yeah, big new things, guys. Big new things. Supercross 5 has 2 strokes, split screen, and rhythm section savers in the track editor. Big new things, boys. Big new things. I really don't know how some of these YouTubers don't realize how silly they look to people that actually have a brain. You know? That's the part I'm having a hard time understanding here. It's like, I get it. You get these young kids that watch some of these YouTubers. They don't give a shit if what they're saying is true or not, or a white lie, or not pointing out the truth. They don't give a shit about any of that. They're just watching the YouTuber to hear about the new game and, woo, let's get hyped. They don't care about anything else. I would say the younger kids, the Milestone fanboys, and the parents of these particular games. I mean, there's some parents that actually have their shit together and they know what they're doing, but I would say for the most part, it's those kind of people that get into those kind of YouTubers, because otherwise, if you actually think about what they're saying and you think about what's happened in these games, it don't make any fucking sense. What they're saying, it don't make any sense. I just saw that thumbnail for Wyndham's new video talking about, things have been brought back to these MXGP games. Like, I can't remember exactly what it said, but like, cool things have been added back or whatever. Yeah, they should have never been taken out. Like, we're going to act like that's a positive thing, that they've been brought back when they should have never been taken out? It's kind of funny, like the 2 strokes that were in Supercross 4 is paid DLC. The 2 strokes that were in MXGP 3. Split screen that was in Halo Combat Evolved. You know what I mean? Kind of funny, ain't it? Sad, sad, sad. Sad, sad, sad. But no, guys, I'm just a big hater boy. I'm negative about everything. I can't accept anything that Milestone does. Spencer's just the rant boy. Spencer's just the hater boy. Boy, it's funny, ain't it? See, that's the only defense they really have, because they know how much truth I'm spitting. It's straight logic. It's undeniable logic, the comparisons that I make in these games and the things that I say. So the only defense they really have is to try to paint me out as this negative about everything. I can't accept anything, right? That's the only real, any kind of defense they have. Because they can't go in there and talk about the actual features of the games and the stupid things that they say that are not true and don't make any sense. Big new things, okay? They can't go in there and really speak about any of that because there's no logic to what they say. All they can do is try to break down my logic by trying to say I'm just a hater. I can't accept anything. Look at the airtime, dude. All the way back in MXGP 3. Whoo-wee. See, the thing is, I have to be so negative to make up for the lack of brutally honest truth in this motocross gaming YouTube world. I have to make up for all of the lack thereof. Do you see what I'm saying? If there was more guys that actually spoke the truth and said these negative things, I wouldn't feel as obligated, you know? But, oh man, when you barely see any of the truth coming out, I gotta be the one. Somebody's gotta do it. Somebody's gotta say it. Huh. Man, oh man. Look at how wide this track is, though. This is way more down the vein of actual proper fun factor arcade motocross game track scaling. This is way more to that level right here. Like, you were going down all of the right paths, Milestone. You were doing all the right things. You were getting somewhere. And then for some reason, you have just taken an absolute hot dog shit right in the bed. I mean, right in the bed. Fresh new sheets. Whew. Stinky, dirty, nasty, janky, unpolished, Pertner diarrhea level turd in the bed, okay? That's what Milestone has done. Yeah, and the funniest part is you gotta love when they think I'm trying to be the bad guy in this motocross gaming shit. I'm the bad guy. I'm the hater. I'm so toxic for this motocross community. But the reality of it is I'm pushing Milestone to be better. I'm the only real one that's really calling out all this bullshit. Do you realize I'm doing all this to make the games better? Like, some dumbasses can't get that in their head, and it's hilarious. You realize the more you just accept this, the more you just, well, yeah, that's another MXGP game. Good, let's keep supporting these MXGP games, dude. You know that's just making it worse, right? You do realize it's the opposite of what a lot of you dumbasses think. I'm making this shit better. The ones that just are in this positive, neutral boy, never say anything too negative about anything, they're actually making these games worse. They're making them worse because they're not pointing any of this out. You have to have a backlash. You have to have a stand up from the community and say, you know what? We're not buying that. That's bullshit. We're not doing that. You have to do that before you ever get a change. But no, guys, I'm just a hater. I'm the bad guy for the community. Boy, it's funny how they like to twist all that, isn't it? When in reality, I love these fucking games more than any of these motherfuckers. This is all I do. Is play all of these motocross. This is all I do. This is all I think about. This is all I've ever done on YouTube. Really? This is what I do. You think I'm really a hater? I'm really wanting to see Milestone fail when this is all I do? No, 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 no. Uh-uh. I don't have to want Milestone to fail. They're doing it themselves, by the way. But you know, I'm trying to give all this advice and say all these particular things so that they might take a speckle of what I'm saying and implement it so that you can actually have a better, more fun factor arcade motocross game experience. I'm trying to make it better for you. And just to, you know, give you an example, if you have this thought, well, Spencer's just this little guy on YouTube. They're not listening to him. They're not going to do anything he says. Well, MX versus ATV themselves has literally told me before that they have directly used things that I've said in videos to implement in their future games. They have literally told me that before, that they have directly used certain things that I've said to make their games better. So, you know, you can keep on dreaming and acting like my shit ain't getting seen and all that, but I've been told from MX versus ATV themselves. Okay? Boys, we got them memberships popping off again. All you got to do is hit that join button on the front page. I know it's kind of janky on mobile. You can't really see it most of the time on mobile, but if you're on PC, all you got to do is hit that join button. It'll show you all the perks that you get. I just need one more member to get access to another custom emoji slot, so we're really trying to push for that right now, but that is by far the biggest way that you can support me, man, is memberships. Become a Dudeski today. That's the biggest way to support me. You know, talking about super chats and donations and, you know, watching the videos, liking the videos, commenting, all that stuff's really good, but like the memberships is what really keeps me without a doubt above water, you know? It's one of those things that allows me to do so much more streaming. I can make more sense out of putting more money into this shit, you know. So just saying, the memberships is a massive way to help the channel out here. But again, if you ain't got the money, if you don't want to do that, if you think buying a taco is more important, I understand that too. You know, I totally get it. This is just for the people that want to support the channel to that level. You know what I mean? We got those options going now. Yeah, isn't that funny, Chris? How this game actually looks more fun than MXGP 2021. Isn't that funny? You can just see it. You can see the more fun factor. I don't have to tell you anything about it. You can see it. You can see the less janky, weird, buggy physics feeling system. You can see how much smoother this gameplay is. I don't even have to say anything about it. You can just see it. Boy, that's pretty bad when you can just see it. When you can see the difference of fun factor. That's pretty bad, Milestone. Pretty bad when it gets to that point, man. Pretty bad. All right, boys, I got to take a fat piss. I will be right back. That tea is hitting good, boys. I will be right back. BRB, big dogs. All we need is a little patience, yeah. All right, let's get on a different track here. Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting on that MXGP 3 sequel as well, dude. Trust. Big trust, dude. Let's go to the compound. Fuck, dude. This game basically had everything that you would have in a more modern MXGP game minus the graphics. It's got all the weather modes. It's got all of it. It's got even more weather options, by the way. It's got, you know, this more advanced physics that you can have in here. It's got all the same kind of customization. The only thing it doesn't have now at this point is a track editor because they didn't really introduce that until MXGP 19, which it should have been put in MXGP Pro because that was the game after the first Supercross game that had a track editor. That's another massive disappointing element to the newer MXGP games. Like, the track editors have just been so lackluster from what even I expected them to be. They're just like, it's like, really? Milestone, that's the motocross track editor you've come up with after 12 dirt bike games. It's kind of sad. Even this right here, you see how this is damn near Supercrossy right here? You don't really have a track like this on MXGP 2021. You don't really have that, like, real Supercross track. At least I've not really seen one in it. But, like, without a doubt, the Supercross track editors are just better than the MXGP, modern MXGP game track editors. Without a doubt. It's not even close. And even those are pretty bare bones and basic, so that should go to show you a little something. But the fact that you can't put any kind of roughness or ruts in a motocross game track editor is a problem. Right out the gate. I mean, right out the gate. That's like saying you can't have whoops on a Supercross game track editor. That's literally the same difference. And that's the kind of bullshit that these particular YouTubers just accept in the new Milestone game. What the dog shit? Boy, we're out here landing some crazy shit, man. We got some Travis Pastrana TP 720 toilet paper 720s out here, dude. Oh, me, oh, my. I mean, man. Like, I'm serious when I say I never want to play MXGP 2021 ever again. I don't want to do it ever again. At least with MXGP 3, I can say it's like kind of fun to come back in here and just mess around on. Of course, this is nothing like a Reflex or a Live or whatever, but like it's fun enough and completed enough to, you know, be a fun little experience to come back to every once in a while. I don't feel like that about MXGP 2021 at all. I genuinely don't feel like that at all. 50 dudes in the chat again. What's up, boys? I appreciate you tuning back in. What's up, my dudes? We're just out here doing a little comparison stream. Just to, you know, point out some of the objectively worse elements of 21 that for some reason a lot of these big motocross YouTubers fail to mention to you. Kind of funny how that happens, isn't it? In any other kind of gaming, community or whatever, this shit that Milestone's doing with these modern MXGP games would not be accepted. The only reason it's even remotely accepted is because it's in this very small, tight-knit little motocross, community that doesn't get a whole lot of games, right? If this kind of bullshit was being done in a first-person shooter series or franchise, people would be shitting all over it with what Milestone is doing. But it's the kind of game that they're making that protects them quite a bit. Because there's a lot of guys still stuck in that, well, at least we're just getting another motocross game, right? They still seem to be in that kind of mindset. And it basically gives Milestone an infinite shield to do whatever they want to do. And I just simply won't give them that. I simply will not give them that. So, it's really what it comes down to. What's up, Drew? Big tea sipping. Tea break. Tea break. Oh, man. I just need to set up something where I've got a spigot coming out of the fucking wall over here. It's like a literal keg. It's like a literal tea on draft spigot, okay? And it's constantly being made. New teas being made and put into that behind the wall. Right, but I can just get over there and fucking get that shit, drink out of that tea tap, right? I mean, we're trying to work into that. It might take a little bit of, just a little bit of unique. I was about to go to multi. Can you even play this in multiplayer? No. There's no matches. Nah. All right. Oh, and another little thing, was this? Let me see. This may have been before they introduced the Ghost. I'm not exactly sure. Let's take a look. But yeah, I mean, even in this game, like, you've got a career mode. You've got time attack. You've got a compound. A free ride compound, something that they didn't give you in Supercross 1. Thank God they did what they did with MXGP 3, because you can always go back to this and look at what Milestone was before they started making 2 games a year. You can always go back and see exactly what it was. This game has really turned into a pillar-changing moment within these MXGP games. It just straight up has turned into that. Like, kind of crazy when you realize that. Yeah, the only thing I would change about, like, these physics right here is obviously more of a forward and backwards movement, right? And a little more inertia out of the bike. Just a little bit, but you don't really want to make the speed any slower. You don't want to make the gameplay any slower. For damn sure don't want to make the tracks any more narrow or smaller scaling. Right? All of these things that they have done with these modern MXGP games, those are all the things you don't want to do. Look how wide this is. Like, bruh. Oh, bruh. But yeah, and then obviously making the whips more free and not as much hitting a button and playing an animation. Those are the only things that you would really need to do to this physics system to get it, to that legendary kind of level. But, I mean, for its time and being Milestone's third MXGP game, this is pretty good. I mean, this was pretty good. Like, if they would have just kept on the advancements that they made from MXGP 1 to 2 to 3, If they'd have just kept on that same kind of vibe and didn't start making the tracks all narrow and tight and slowing the gameplay down and all that bullshit, if they'd have just kept doing kind of what they was doing and staying on the path that they were on, making the terrain deformation even more physical game by game after this, dude, could you imagine where we would be at this point? That's the most sad part about it. We could be so much more than where we are, but it seems as if Milestone has put every ounce of their focus into graphics over everything else, that and instead of keeping this scaling, they've went more down this, one-to-one scaling road. Again, this is not a simulator, it's an arcade game, but Milestone seems to have not figured that out yet. It's kind of funny, kind of cute. But yeah, like, if they'd have just kept what they were doing, fuck talking about do all this crazy different stuff. If they'd have just kind of kept on the road they were going down, man, we could have had so many better games. It's really sad, man. Yeah, it's all about getting that pretty gameplay trailer. That's exactly right, Chris. That is exactly right. Getting that gameplay trailer, and then you go to the website and it's trying to explain how there's all these new features, and they're really not new features at all. They've totally ran out of actual putting new things into these new Milestone dirt bike games. Hence, the first thing you scroll down to on the Supercross 5 website is two strokes. Okay? Something you had in this game right here. Okay? Oh, man. Look how wide, though. This is way better track scaling. Way better than that modern shit. It is so much better. Ugh, like the fact that they can't realize that is beyond me. Like, you could sit both of these games side by side and just tell those things. It's not like hard to figure out. I don't know why. It's like Milestone's gotten caught up in their own, digging their own grave. It's so weird to me. But this is just more fun. This is just simply more fun. That's what arcade motocross games are all about. They're not about having one-to-one scaling tracks. They're not about having all this other bullshit. It's about fun. That's what they're all about. That's what they're supposed to be all about. Well, with the Supercross games, at least you can say they changed the fucking track. The tracks changed because, obviously, with Supercross, even if they don't change their track scaling any, the tracks themselves will change because you have completely different layouts within every Supercross game. So you're at least riding on something, some kind of different kind of track. Whereas these Milestone games, when they don't change that track scaling, it's obviously damn near the exact same layouts unless they change, one little section on one track in real life MXGP shit. So you get a lot more varied track content in that sense, even if you go to the same kind of, let's say you go to Atlanta Supercross in Supercross 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, they should all be somewhat different, with the layouts at least, even if they're not different scaling. So I think that's one thing that definitely helps the Supercross games for sure. Yeah, they're not changing jack shit. All right, let's get back to the worst game for its time. We can do a little more comparison here. Yes, Chris, yes. Oh my God, yes. You're saying all the things that have been in the back of my mind forever. Yes, if you don't even have to change the fucking layouts, you should have way more time to make the actual track scaling better and all of that kind of stuff. Yes. Yes, 1,000 times over, yes. But it's not really been the case. It's really just not been the case. Let me see. I'm going to try my damnedest to go in here and make as much of a Supercross track that I possibly can. Let's see if I can pull that off here. I'm going to try my hardest with these motocross fucking pieces in here. Let's see if we can make a Supercross track. Real curious to see how possible that really is here. So, can you still not make a custom start? Let's just figure that out. Am I just missing something here, or is there still no custom starts on the MXGP track editor? Please tell me I'm just missing something here. You know that thing they had in like Supercross 2? Like, can I really not make a custom start? Oh my God, you can't even... Oh man. Oh man. That's rough. All right. Let's get right here. Just try our damnedest to make a Supercross track out of these modules. This is going to be tricky. Gotta have that Big Daddy one. Smaller. See, it's like you can't even get the jumps like close enough together to properly even really do that. Why? I'm about to say, why the fuck did that zoom me in all of a sudden? Let's see. You can't really, like, there's no difference in the berms in the corners that you can make. Look at the bug. Look at the bug. Look at that. When I rotate this just enough, it'll bug you into this so far that you can't even see what you're doing. There's another bug for you, Milestone. Yeah, there's another one for you. When I say this game is bug-ridden, I fucking mean it is bug-ridden. Okay? I don't know if I can even jump that and turn quick enough because you can't make a fucking berm or a rut in the corner. Fucking hell. Alright, that's about as most of a berm we're going to get. And the thing is, you know, you can sit there till you're blue in the face about, well, it's not a Supercross game. Why would you, you know, that big thing that all these dumbasses try to defend Milestone with, you know? Well, it's not even a Supercross game, man. Why would it have something like that? Well, just imagine if it did have Supercross module pieces. Why don't you think about that? How much better it would make this. Instead of looking at it like it shouldn't have it, why don't you look at it, what if it did have it? Oh, man. No, you don't look at anything like that, though. That's kind of funny. Oh, shit. Oh, these guys. I tell you. Well, what? You know how we was talking about those bugs? You know how we was talking about those bugs? Where am I at, Milestone? Where am I at here? You threw me in the lake. You literally threw me in the lake. I mean, if you can't see the bugs in this game, here it is. Where am I at? Yeah, you can't play some module piece here. Yeah, because you threw me in the fucking Loch Ness Monster's fucking whole Milestone. Well, I hit the B button there, and it took me back to here. What the fuck? All right, I think we're forced to put a corner in here. But no, guys, let's just act like this is another, run-of-the-mill MXGP game, and, it's all good, no big deal. If you don't like the new MXGP game, it's all good, man. Oh, shit. Let's try to make some dumbass little thing here. This is hilariously bad. This is like... This is what I mean by... When these particular YouTubers, they act like this is another run-of-the-mill, just like MXGP 19 and 20. Well, this is just 21. Well, it's okay. Spencer doesn't like it. That's okay. No. This is a whole different animal of shit. This is a whole different level of dog turd, okay? This is totally different level here, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, it's like anytime you go out of the border of the track is when it throws you in the lake. Oh my milestone. This is the most bare minimum fucking track editor I have ever seen in my life. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, you gotta love them guys. I actually like MXGP 2020. Oh, really? How many bugs can we see in a 5-minute long fucking going into the track editor here? This is not me hunting out bugs, by the way. This is just me trying to build a standard track. Do you see the problem? You don't even have to hunt the bugs out. Oh. Heaven forbid you give us some other kind of module piece thing here, Milestone. Heaven forbid. All right, let's wrap this back around to the start straight. If I can avoid the fucking jump into the lake, that would be sick. I don't know if we're going to be able to actually achieve that here, but we'll see what we can do. Yep, that's the fucking border of the track editor spot. I don't know if I can get around that. Ew. Look at the faint little off the shit red. Yeah, you might want to make that a little more apparent, Milestone, so we can see where the off of the track editor is, just a little. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to wrap this back around from here. No way. All I can do is try to wrap it around like this, but I'm on the border. Am I on the border of the track here? No. Let me back it up. It's a challenge, if you haven't noticed. It's a challenge to simply just complete the track on here, which is hilarious, but... Oh, man. All right. If I can even get this back around to the start straight, I don't know if I can. We'll see if I can do it. Oh, man. Okay, I would have to curve it right there. All right, I think we're in the clear. I think I can do it. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to have to curve this over just a little like this. Then curve it back like this. Can't put it there, motherfucker. Have you ever seen such bullshit in your life? Oh my god. I mean, this is like hilarious, joking levels of bad. This isn't just like, well, run-of-the-mill, another milestone game. No. Oh my god, I still can't do it. I still can't do it. Woo. All right, let's see if it lets us wrap it back around right here. Oh, thank God. Oh, man. Oh, look at this. I can't even move. Look at this. Do you want to see another bug? I'm hitting the gas and I cannot move. See how this is Battlefield 2042 for the motocross game industry? All these other YouTubers that act like this game is just all fine and dandy. See how they're bullshitting you? Have you noticed that? See how they're bullshit? I can't even move. Let's try to go back to the track editor and try it again. I still can't move. So, doesn't look like we're even going to be able to ride on the track that we just made. It seems as if that's where we have gotten to here. Let me try to change this up just a little bit. Maybe that'll help. I have no idea. I can't move. Fuck this game in every way known to man. Oh, now you put me here, Milestone. Okay. You see the problem that I'm talking about when these bigger YouTubers just act like, it's all right, dude, no big deal. Pretty sure Kellen put on Twitter something along the lines of, just an annual reminder, it's okay to like the new MXGP game. It's okay, even if you're a sim, player, it's okay to like the new MXGP. Oh, really? It is? No, I don't think this is okay to like this no matter who you are. No matter what kind of motocross gamer you are. This is fucking hell. Ho, 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 ho. I mean, what can I do here? Put a corner in? Back this up, try to put a corner in? No, can't do that. Yeah, I would love to try my track. I can't do it. Fuck this game. Fuck this game. We're getting off of this dumb shit. Oh my God, you can't even play the game. It's so bugged you can't even play the game. Yeah, I have to go play 3. I can't even play fucking 21. Oh. Pretty bad, Milestone, when I can't even do a comparison video between, your game that came out like 6 years ago, that one. I can't even really do a comparison between your newest game because I can't even get around the bugs in the game. Do you see what I mean by there is no defense for MXGP 2021? Do you see what I mean by how it's objectively worse? Do you see what I'm getting at with that? I mean, oh my God, Milestone. Like, and those are all bugs I didn't even mention in either one of my review videos. You know what I mean? That's all stuff, that's all extra bugs, extra thing, Holy shit. Yeah, trust me, dog. I didn't even go over all of the bugs in 21 in both of my review videos. I didn't even go over it. Go over all of them. It is... Yeah, Supercross 3 was actually it had a couple of problems, but like I feel like Supercross 3 is where they started to hone in that Supercross feel a little bit. And then with Supercross 4, they gave you more like leaning forward and back, but you kind of lost some of the flow, the fluent flow that Supercross 3 had. Seems to be a common problem in these milestone dirt bike games where they'll do something to the physics where it'll give you like more movement in a certain kind of way, which is a good thing, but then it goes backwards in the sense of it loses flow. It loses flow to the gameplay. And, you know, the MXGP 2021 is like the definition of complete loss of flow to the gameplay. You can sit there and talk about how, well, you got more movement on MXGP 2021, you got this, and that to the physics, but if it don't have the same flow, then it just don't have the same flow. You know what I mean? Like, you can have all the movement in the world, but if it's janky and weird feeling, it kind of defeats the purpose. Flow to the physics is the most important element to a motocross game, an arcade motocross game. It's got to have a smooth flow to the gameplay. That's what keeps it interesting. That's what keeps it fun. That's what makes you want to come back and play it. Unbelievable that some of these individuals are acting like MXGP 2021 is some decent little motocross game. Unbelievable, dog. Graphics can trick anybody. Let me just say that. Visual bullshit graphics can trick anybody. You have to be able to separate that shit. I know it's tough sometimes because graphics can make something look so damn cool, but you got to be able to separate those things, or you're going to be in a world of hurt, man. Oh, and by the way, any super chats that I get, I obviously will read your message off in the stream, so if you have any particular question that you really want answered, any kind of super chat amount, I will read your message off, unless it is something that I just simply can't for YouTube terms and services, you know what I'm saying? But any message that I can read, really, I'll read it off. But before you send any kind of super chat, obviously, becoming a member of the channel is going to give you way more perks and stuff like that. So, you know, before you send any kind of super chat, be sure and look at the memberships, you know, unless you're trying to send a super chat that's under $4.99, because that's what my memberships are. But you get way more perks with that. You get access to custom emojis. You get a cool little custom alien badge beside your name in the live stream chat and in YouTube comments. So that's a cool little thing to it. I'm going to start doing members-only videos. I've already been doing members-only community post. So it's cool little, you know, ways you can type in on YouTube. I can send like different community posts, different community polls and things like that, which is another cool little thing that YouTube's got going for them. But yeah, they're starting to get these memberships and live stream, you know, stuff popping off on YouTube. I'm really happy about it. But they need to make it to where the join button is actually visible on mobile. That would help a lot. Still seems to be an issue. Dude got absolutely clobbered by that hay bale. Oh, man. Absolutely clobbered. Dude asked, how many hate super chats have I got? Not too many. I mean, for the most part, people are pretty smart about, like, you know, oh, I'm actually directly giving this guy money. You know, if I'm going to hate this guy, I probably wouldn't want to give him actual money. But Checkers wouldn't know anything about that or anything. But that goes way too far back. But yeah, for the most part, people, you know, They're at least that smart to know if they hate somebody, they're not going to give them money directly, even though they're giving me money by clicking on my stream and typing in chat and things like that, which is funny, but they won't directly give me money out of their pocket, right? I haven't really gotten too many of those, but I don't care. Any hate super chats I get, I'll fucking read your shit off. I'll accept your money. I'll take your money like Milestone does. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Yeah, bad track re-entry, bruh. Holy shit. You got to make sure and look at your mini-map before you get back on the track, guys. Don't worry about it. Oh. Man, that was like a whole lifetime ago. All that shit on MX Sim, dude. That was a whole lifetime ago. That game's gone through its own issues since 2017. That's for damn sure. Seems like a lot of these motocross games having a tough time. YSN 227 hit me with the 5. Pretty sure that's Canadian dollars. I don't know. CA? 5 CA. I don't know exactly what that is currency-wise, but he says, is it just me or does MX Sim have good graphics? Do you agree? So, this is the whole thing about MX Sim and the graphics, right? It's a game from 2007, right? And for the longest time, a lot of the custom tracks were made with very basic, like, track decals and, very basic looking skyboxes and everything like that. I think that, for its time, MX Simulator's graphics are just fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but, we're now in 2021, and it's very easy to look at MX Sim as like this very shitty graphic game because you're directly comparing it to all these other games. But at the same time, if you get on there on like a Nicholas Sandbox, 3D scanned Supercross or Motocross track on MX Simulator with maxed out graphics, 2K resolution, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't. Which goes to show you it's not as much about the game as it is what the custom track makers are doing for ground decals. And, it's really more on the track makers at this point more than it is the game itself as far as making MX Simulator look like it's got really shitty graphics. I'm not saying it's got good graphics, but I'm saying the game can look a lot better depending on what kind of track you're on. And if you're playing on 2K, maxed out graphics, it can look a lot better than it seems as if it would look at a first glance, But, most people aren't in there making 3D scan tracks, super high-res decals. Most track makers just aren't doing that, and that's what gives you more of that Play-Doh looking Minecraft level, ground decals and stuff like that. But anyways, I appreciate that super chat, YSN. Appreciate you, buddy. First super chat of the stream. Got to shout out the big dog. Every little super chat and member means a lot when these streams are at this kind of size and level. Every single one of them means a lot to me. But yeah. Yeah, my time will come. I'm working up to it. But my time will come. When we get these face cams popping off and we really get in here and playing some different kind of games and reviewing some different kind of games and stuff like that, my time will come. I've kind of kept myself in a very small little box with this, not only with this motocross stuff, but, the majority of the stuff that I've done has been on even smaller motocross games like MX Sim and stuff like that. I can only reach so many people with what I do, and I'm never going to stop doing this, but I just want to add on doing more different kind of stuff. Can you imagine if I went in there and really, did the Spency Boy treatment on like a Battlefield 2042 or something like that? Woo! Them videos would have some big potential, dude. Big potential. That starts almost getting into like Angry Joe level, videos and shit. Them videos can get real big, man. But in the motocross gaming stuff, it can only get so big, you know? You can only get so big in this motocross shit if that's all you do on YouTube. But yeah. We'll get it going. We'll get it going. I still remember riding on this track back in the day on a two-stroke. I think I did a fucking two-stroke, like a 125 wide open video on this track. Crazy that I can remember that. I appreciate you, Reflex TV. Appreciate you, buddy. I try to give people an experience with watching my videos or watching my streams that they just can't quite get anywhere else. I try to make it in a way where it's like you remember in your head, for the better or for the worse, damn, I just watched a Spencer Turley video. And it's not, you just can't compare it to anything else. I feel like I've done a pretty damn good job at achieving at least that level of feeling. You know, I've separated myself enough from everybody else where you feel like you get a one-of-a-kind exclusive experience in this shit. A lot of YouTubers have a problem with that. They can't separate themselves enough. They're just like another same run-of-the-mill fucking, you know, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at... Let's fall asleep real quick, you know. People can call me crazy or, you know, whatever the shit, but, like, at least I make it interesting. At least I do something different. At least I'm fucking doing something, you know. But anyways, yeah, getting the face cam is only going to make an extension of that. There's a lot more levels we can take this thing, okay? Let's get on Glenn Helen here. A lot more levels I can take it. I just got to get everything tapped in and really do it, you know. I would much rather be remembered as a one-of-a-kind guy than anything else. That is my number one goal on YouTube. Being real and being one-of-a-kind. Period. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's cool to get more subs and get bigger on YouTube and all that shit, because you make more money at it and everything, but, like, that's all secondary stuff to me, really. Because I want to look back at a legacy. I want to look back at a, damn, I really fucking did something, not look back at a, I was just the run-of-the-mill same guy as everybody else and never really, you know, became anything different. I don't want to look back and it be like that. And I got to keep it fun for me, too. So that's another element of it, you know. I very easily could have went in there and been one of those neutral boy YouTubers and, you know, hey, let me see if I can do it. Okay. Hey guys, my name is Spencer Turley. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be taking a look at MXGP 2021. There's been some pretty cool new features added back to the game, and I think it's some, you know, some pretty good things they've done, man. The graphics are looking really good, especially if you're on PS5. It's looking really good, and I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with the game. It's going to be a really awesome experience, and hey, the career mode, you know, it's be kind of cool. And yeah, it's kind of awesome, man. They've got some roughness and really cool stuff. Oh, look, and they even have terrain deformation. It's kind of a really cool thing, dude. And I really hope all of you fans still love me all the time, even though I never really speak the truth about anything. I'm really, really glad that all of you guys continue to love me and subscribe to me and support me. And even though I don't really say any of what needs to be said in this game when you actually do a review on it, I'm okay with that. I mean, that's the way I like to make my videos. I like to avoid all drama or any potential backlash that I could get. So I just continue to make my videos this way, and it's all good, man. See, I'm capable of that, but I choose not to do that. You see what I'm saying? I could have all of your fans if I stuck to that script. I could have all of your fans, but I don't want you fans. I could have all of your fans if I didn't go popping. I stayed on some conscious shit. Oh, man. And it's that same way. Every video they make, it's the same way. That's why I can't watch them, because there's just nothing there. And there's a lot of YouTubers and a lot of other kind of types of game genres that get into that too. They're almost more like a news outlet for it. They're just telling you like neutral information about it and talking as monotoned as you could ever imagine and never saying anything exciting ever and reading off a script, it seems like. And there's a lot of dudes that get into that with Call of Duty. A lot of dudes get into that with Battlefield. There's no emotion to what they're saying. It's just, okay, welcome back, another video, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? I never wanted to be that guy, man. Look at the dust effects on here. Look at that. It's a pretty cool little feature. So, let me see. Whoa, look at that inside rut, dude. If you think there wasn't some tracks that had pre-made inside big berms on MXGP3, you're fucking wrong, because there was. Even all the way back here. This is so much more fun, dude. It ain't even, like, comparable. I mean, oh, man. Look at the scaling. Milestone, you had everything going for you. You had the proper scaling. Yeah, the jumps could have been a little bit bigger, I would say, on this, but, you know, you had the scaling going for you, dog. You had it going for you. What happened? I mean, what happened? Look, right here. Look at that. Look how big that fucking berm is. That's just as big or bigger than any inside pre-made berm on MXGP 2021. So don't let them trick you into thinking they've never done that before, because they have. Look, right here. Look at this. Get the fuck out of my way, dude. Wow. Pretty crazy when you come back to this and realize it's unbelievable. It's just so disappointing that they couldn't keep what they had going. We would have had so much better of games at this point. So much better. Holy shit. I mean, just look at the track. Look at the track. And I'm not saying this is like proper necessarily airtime off of these jumps, but it's better than 21. That's what I would say about every aspect just about of this game. It's not where I would say, like, you know, it needs to be for an arcade motocross game, but it's certainly better than 2021. Do you see what I'm saying? And had they kept down this road, I think they would have eventually gotten it to more of that acceptable level you know, making the jumps like 10, 15% bigger than this. I mean, the scaling, like, as far as track width, it's pretty fucking good, dude. This is pretty good right here. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. What have you done, Milestone? What have you done? Look at it. Even over just like a simple finish line, you still have some kind of air time. Most of the finish lines on 2021, there basically is no air time. The physics have gotten way too heavy in the newer MXGP games. That's what slowed the bike down. That's what's made you barely come off of the ground. It's too much of a heaviness. At least that's what I've noticed with it. It's way too heavy of a physics design. But like, this is way, at this current point in time, how much is this game on Steam? Somebody look that up for me. Let me know in chat right now. How much is MXGP3 on Steam? I bet it's not even like $15. Just think about the difference. $15, $60. You know? $30, dude says. Yeah, and I'm sure they've had deals on it throughout where you could have got it even cheaper than. Yeah, I'm talking about on Steam, boys. Steam, boys. Talking about on PC. Steam, boys. Pretty sure all these MXGP games are pretty fucking cheap on Steam. The old ones. But like, dude. Dude says he got it for $5 on a Steam sale. Yep. If you watch those Steam sales, you can get Reflex for like, I saw it on there for like $1.99, bruh. Reflex, bruh. Pro is $6 right now. Damn. What's up, Martins? What's up, dude? We're just out here playing the goated MXGP game. No big deal. Just that goated MXGP game, bruh. Alright. So, for the sake of comparison, you guys know how much I hate to do it, but we got to have a little bit of it here because this is a versus video. Oh, certainly no, I'm not going to get back on the track editor of this shit, but this is a versus video, so we need to go in here and do a little bit of comparing. Let's see how many more bugs we can encounter here. That's what this game is. How many bugs can you encounter in a certain time frame? I don't know. We'll see. Certainly ain't going back to that fucking track editor. Hell no. Hell no. Okay, so let's go to one of these, right? So you can see right here, there's no actual Supercross compound track. You know that thing you had on MXGP Pro, MXGP 3, MXGP 2019 in the compound? You know how you used to have a Supercross track on that? I don't see it here, boys. If any of these look like a Supercross track to you, let me know, because I don't see it. So there's one jump on this track. Let me turn the AI difficulty down. Super easy. I want to try to throw some whips. Dude asks, what do I think about MXGP 2019? I mean, it's just, that's where they really started to introduce that slower, heavier physics system where you barely come off of the ground, right? And I wasn't a fan of that direction that they took. So I can't really say I'm a big fan of 19. MXGP 2020 didn't even have visual terrain deformation, still had the slow, small track scaling, narrow. So I can't really say I'm a fan of that either. MXGP Pro still had the right kind of speed level to it and, you know, pretty good on the jump scaling. But it had a lot of, it had more of that popping off, janky feeling to some of the physics systems to it. You know, I would say, like, I'm definitely more of a fan of MXGP, like, 3 and Pro than I am the modern, like, 19, 20, and 21. I can't get over the slower gameplay of these. That's what makes it more down that just not fun for me. The slower, heavier, more narrow, barely come off of the ground, you know. But yeah, for me, that's where I'm at on them. Look at the physics. You know, it's like they tried to make an attempt to bring some of that Supercross whip freedom to here, but they failed miserably because any sort of potential more freedom that you have in this game is also comes along with more bugs to it. You see what I'm saying? Like any kind of more freedom to the movement argument that you can make to this, you can also make the same argument that it comes with also more bugs to it as well. So, you know, more movement, but also more janky. Look at, you know, if you can even get the bike and the rider to stay in the screen when you're whipping, you know, if you can do that, that's definitely going to help your case out. So, oh man. It's just such slow gameplay. I mean, I don't know how they could make the gameplay any slower. You know what I mean? When it gets to that kind of point, I don't know how they can make it any slower. I don't know. I mean, I didn't notice as many bugs on 19 or 20 on the first day when it comes to the physics themselves. I didn't even notice as many bugs in those games as I do in 21. You know, they may have had bugs like in other areas of the game, but I don't remember the physics themselves having this many bugs in 19 and 20. I mean, look at that. Like, I'm barely even turning in the corner, and it just pops me off. Like, yeah, one of the games had a really big problem on day one with, like, multiplayer servers. I think that might have been 19. I can't remember, but one of them was remembered for that quite a bit. It had a lot of bugs within the multiplayer. I can't remember which one it was, but this one, like, physics whip bugs, it's one of the worst ones I've ever played as far as that particular kind of bugginess to it. We'll see what all Milestone changes in their first update. You know, what Milestone considers a bug and not a bug to the physics. You know, like even the popping off over a 5-foot double on MXGP Pro, that felt like a bug to me, but apparently Milestone didn't think the same about it, so, you know, they left it in there. I think they may have even made it slightly better maybe with an update, but it still is pretty trash, that particular element of it. No, yeah, Tyler, yeah, that's pretty much how I'm steering in this game, is strictly with the left thumbstick. Trust me, dog, I'm not really leaning and turning, because you will instantly pop off every time when you do that. No, I'm basically exclusively using just the turning left and right. And, you know, could I get in here and avoid crashing? Yeah, I could. It's not, you know, some people think, well, Spencer just can't figure this game out or whatever the fuck. No, I could get in here and not really crash, but it would take me having to ride around the physics bugs to be able to do that. And whenever I'm trying to show the game off, I'm just not going to do that. I could do that, but I'm not going to do that because I'm trying to show off the physics bugs. That's why in a lot of the gameplay in my reviews of this game, I'm constantly sitting there popping off because I'm trying to show you how easy it is to pop off, right, with just the slightest little movement. I could have went in there and ran 20 laps on every track without ever crashing. Trust me, I could have done that, but that wouldn't really have showed off the bugs very good. So, you know what I mean? It's not really a case of I can't get around the game without crashing. It's just I'm really trying to show off how easy it is to pop off, right? All right, let's get on a different track. These free ride little tracks are kind of, they're a little on the lackluster side, I would say. This track right here is absolute trash. This one, like, whoever designed this track for this game apparently does not understand the concept of fun factor, not even a little bit. Okay, so let's get on this one. Right, this is a legacy. You know, they're finally starting to give you some legacy tracks. Gee, thanks, Milestone. That would have been a cool thing like 4 or 5 games ago, but okay. Whip everything, the Dudeski, he says, even if the ground physics were perfect, the whips alone destroy the gameplay. Yeah, yeah, the whips are fucking, they're trashed. They're trashed. Yeah, I mean, it's like one thing makes the next thing worse in this game. Everything makes everything else worse. It's weird, but that's how it is. This to me feels like you took every worse physics element of every previous MXGP game and jumbled it together and didn't even bother to polish it. That is exactly what the physics feel like to me in this game. I really don't see where some of you boys are getting this vibe like you actually like this game. I can't see it. Whatever that is, I can't see it. I think you're getting tricked into thinking that way because everything looks so good graphically, and you know, they've added more controller vibration. They've, you know, given you a little bit of pre-made roughness so you feel like you're actually, you know, there's a little bit of the bike is hitting something on the track. But a lot of that, I'm telling you, is the fucking controller vibration. It really is. And it's like you've got super traction and a bunch more controller vibration. I can see how you boys are getting tricked up into thinking this is actually, well, I actually like this game. You're getting tricked up, man. I'm just telling you. You're getting tricked up by a bunch of other little bullshit that's not really... Look at the bike. Oh, man. You just can't, no matter what you want to say about the feeling of the game, you can't get around the bugs. You can't get around the jankness to it, you know? You can say whatever you want to about the game, but you just can't get around the bugs and the more jankiness to it. You simply can't. But yeah, the majority of what, like, this little pre-made roughness, what makes it feel like you're actually feeling that more than anything is the controller vibration. You know, you're getting a little bit of this vibration all the way around the track, which, again, that's not actually the bike reacting to the roughness. It's controller vibration. Okay? There's a very big difference between those two things. Telling you, the bike ain't really reacting over this roughness. It's not. And the most sad part about it is, it's like this kind of roughness should have been in these games so long ago. It's not even funny. This is the stuff I was saying back there, like MXGP 3, you know. Oh, you can, you know, put a little more roughness, make the pre-made ruts a little bigger. So it's not, I'm not going to give Milestone any credit for now giving you a little bit of that in MXGP 2021. I'm not going to give them any credit at this point. You know, when you're supposed to have something 3-4 games ago, you got to be real careful with how you give credit for things. You know, in all reality, like the MXGP Pro 19 days should have been more of the, what you would call pre-made days of these MXGP games. We should be to the point now where the deformation has totally taken over the pre-made, and you're more so, everything's getting developed by the deformation more than it is the pre-made, and that's not what this game is. This game is still really 100% based off of pre-made, and the deformation isn't actually doing anything. You see what I'm saying? You're still a step, 2-3 steps behind where these games should be as far as that goes. 2-3 steps behind. What's up, Dallas? What's up, big dog? Ah, man. Look at that. Look at the... Okay, look right here. Notice... Look... This is an example of how these are not physical ruts. Do you see how my tire... Can I get this in a... Yeah, let me see right here. See how my tire is actually clipping into the deformation itself? See that right there? See how you're not colliding with anything here. You're not colliding with any... Dude, this should be proof right here that this is not physical terrain deformation. Look at that back wheel. Let me get it right here. See how that's just going through that like it's not even there? Do you see that? You notice that? See that right there? Look how smooth that bike is going. Crossed over those ruts directly. See how smooth that tire ain't sitting there going up and down. You know what I mean? These tires should be going up and down over these ruts. And they're not at all. They're not even moving at all. There's your proof right there, motherfuckers, that this is 100% visual. I'm tired of these dumbasses acting like there's some physical feeling to this. No, there's not. No, there's not. That right there, though, is direct proof that these ruts are not physical. And see, you got to be careful if you get over here in a spot like this, because the tires will move a little bit, but they're not moving on the deformation. They're moving on that pre-made inside berm. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to be real careful with where you do this at, because you got to be able to differentiate. See, it'll move over that pre-made inside berm, right? But it's not moving over the deformation itself. You see the difference? It's really sad that I have to point this out to people, but goddamn, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. Like, dude says in chat, I have noticed that if you do a full realistic length race, the ruts seem to slow you down. What are you talking about on the very last lap? Is that what you're talking about? Because I've rode a many of realistic length races on this, and it certainly doesn't do anything for the first 10, 15 laps. But we'll go take a look. We'll go take a look. YSN 227 hitting me with another super chat, another $5 Canadian. She says, wow, here's another $5 to help pay for this piece of crap they call a game. Yeah, just letting you know, YSN, you've already given me, fuck, I don't know, damn near double what a membership would be. So just letting you know. Memberships are only $4.99, big dogs. Same price of a subscription on Twitch. The price of a taco. All right. I mean, what I'm trying to find a track that would make like sturdy ruts. Okay. And here's another thing to explain right here. Let's get on this one because I got a point to prove. Let's get on this one. I got a point to prove about this one. So this track, I've noticed, is a little bit different because, let me show you what I'm talking about here. This one, they seem to have actually added, like, fuck, that's going to be tricky with these guys going around the track because it's going to be hard to tell what's deformation and not. But you see that back wheel moving up over? There's some level of pre-made ruttage, micro pre-made ruts going on this track right here. Before you even deform it at all, there's some level of it that is actual pre-made. Right? Even like, I think this right here is pre-made, this inside fucking thing right here. So, this is what you call a combination of pre-made micro ruts in combination with visual let me burp real quick. Visual terrain deformation. This can get real tricky right here for people to separate. You know, it's one thing if you have like big pre-made inside ruts or big pre-made inside berms. It's a lot easier to separate that deformation from the actual pre-made. This is a little more tricky because it's got somewhat of micro little pre-made change of terrain ruts. So then you start deforming it visually, and then it can trick you into thinking you're actually hitting a deformed rut when in reality that pre-made little rut was already there. Okay? It was already there. So I think a couple of you boys are getting a little tricked up when you get on particular tracks like this one, where it does actually have a little bit of micro pre-made ruts there before you even have any deformation on it. And then what it's doing is it's tricking you because you'll get that visual deformation and you'll start hitting those micro pre-made ruts, but you think you're hitting that deformation when you're really not. It's the pre-made micro ruts. Do you see what I'm saying? That's totally different than the deformation itself actually developing that solid of a rut. Two totally different animals. But apparently some people have a real difficulty feeling that difference. So there's a couple of tracks in this game where Milestone really tried their damnness to trick you up into making it seem like their deformation was actually doing something, and it's not. It's the pre-made. I'm telling you right now, it is the pre-made. But not even every track. I mean, there's a lot of tracks that don't even have this level of pre-made little ruts on them. So it's a lot easier to spot that deformation, visual deformation difference. Right? And then you'll start getting that visual deformation worked into a inside pre-made berm. And it'll also trick people into thinking they're hitting something physical. It'll do it there as well. You gotta love having to point all this shit out. You gotta love it. But that's a total difference in the actual deformation making a physical feeling. Do you see what I'm saying? It's two different things, man. Two different things, bro. Alright. There's some of these tracks, I swear to God, it's not even worth riding on like once. This whole game is kind of like that, but, okay. Okay, yeah, I know what I'm going to do right here. Let me get on this one that's got these pretty big pre-made inside ruts. I think it's this one. Yeah. All right. James Stewart is having a new podcast. It was about damn time. I'd like to see it. Dude asked if I watched any MXGP race this year. Nah, I really didn't watch too much this year. Okay, so here we have a bizarre combination of what seems to be already like a deformation shit on the track before you even start, which is kind of a weird thing. Not really sure what they were doing there, but this is funny. Milestone's done every little technique they can fucking do to trick you into thinking the deformation is actually making a physical feeling in this game. Have you not noticed that at this point? They've done every technique they can do to add more controller vibration, make it visual as hell, make the graphics crazy good. They've done everything they can do to make you, to trick you into thinking you are physically feeling that deformation, and you're not. You're not. What it is it's like a 6-inch layer above the terrain. It's a 6-inch layer of shit that is entirely visual. The bike doesn't actually physically interact with that at all. It's a 6-inch layer above the actual physical terrain, and then it can visually, change how it can make those, deformed ruts however it wants to on that 6-inch layer above the actual terrain. Boy, you gotta love how I can see this shit. And it'll visually change it, however, but see, that's still in that 6-inch layer of where your bike doesn't even actually collide with it. Your tires don't even actually physically collide with that. Do you see what I'm saying? That's where Milestone's getting you, boys. And so you get to a spot right here, right? We've got pretty gigantic pre-made, I repeat, pre-made inside ruts. Then you get that 6-inch layer of visual terrain deformation doing all this random shit within these big pre-made ruts. Again, that's not the deformation making a rut, that you're hitting what was already there. You're physically hitting what was already there on lap 1. Do you see the difference? I don't know why it's so hard for some people to see that or understand that. It's really weird. And I just want to get in this other camera mode here. So, look at how bizarre this camera tracks this bike when you're cornering. Look how the camera's like, what is it even doing? I don't understand the cameras in this game. I do not understand the third-person cameras in this game. You can still almost get it to clip in the bottom of the screen, even with the more zoomed-out camera. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get this shit to do it. Don't go off the track, guys, because you will cartwheel in 2.2 seconds. No chance of saving it. It's like it's trying to do this gliding over with the camera when you turn. It's so weird. I don't understand the cameras in this game. The first-person camera's decent for, a Milestone game. But as far as these third-person cameras, they make no sense. Look at that. That was simply me just pulling back on that jump face. You can see what the camera did. See what I'm saying about Battlefield 2042 for the motocross gaming industry? You starting to understand that now, huh? Oh my gosh. Let me get on another jump here and I'll show you again. Let's hit this one right here. Pulling back. Look at that. Goes totally out of the camera, even in the more zoomed out third-person camera. That is insane. Like, you literally can't even really pull back on the bike on the jump face without it doing that. Especially in the more zoomed in. I mean, holy shit, look at that. The more zoomed in camera, you can't do jack shit on a jump face without going out of the camera view. I mean, it's like, that's inexcusable at this point, Milestone. You're on your 12th dirt bike game, including mud. I mean, whew. That's what I mean by, like, any little micro positive you might potentially could take out of this game is completely destroyed by all of the negatives and the bugs of this game. Totally outweighs any kind of little micro positive you could attempt to try to pull out of it. No. All the negatives of it totally outweigh that here. For sure. That cracks me up, man. 100% visual deformation. Milestone, you're trying everything you can to trick boys up. It's really funny to see that. I guess you tricked up quite a few, because I've seen a couple comments talk about, well, I can actually feel the deformation a little bit. So you've apparently done your job to some degree, because you've definitely tricked up some guys. Look at this, though. Look how what the fuck is the camera doing? Like, you know, Milestone, it'd be nice to be able to pull up on the bike on a jump face without the entire bike going out of my camera's view. That would be kind of cool. Be kind of a, you know, something you'd probably want to have in a AAA $60 motocross game, you know? Something like that. See you later, YSN. I appreciate those super chats, buddy. Appreciate it a lot. Bob says you should try the track editor. Yeah, I did, and it bugged its ass out completely. I already did that earlier in the stream. It literally I couldn't even try out my custom track. That's how bugged it was. I couldn't even do it. Couldn't even try it out, bruh. Oh, Milestone, you are something else. I tell you what, you are something else. But god damn it, you're tricking so many people, and it's insane. It's crazy. All right. Yeah, the track editor is basically not even usable. That's pretty much the levels of the bugs to the track editor that I would say. Pretty much unusable track editor. And even if you took all the bugs away, what's actually new to the track editor? Certainly ain't no module pieces. Certainly ain't like ruts or roughness module pieces or different dirt compound. There's not even anything new to it. Even if it didn't have the bugs. That's what I mean. It's like this game is the same shit you've always gotten, but just with more bugs. That's all this game is. I'm telling you, bruh. All right, let's try to take a look at this track on the first lap. Look at the animation of the rider. That's what I meant by taking a shat. He like his legs get all shaky. But it looks beautiful. Graphics look beautiful, so let's ignore everything else. Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like I prefer playing MXGP 2019 over this, for sure. And then, obviously, MXGP 3 over both of those. Look at that shit. Yeah, when you turn, I'm talking just micro too much turning in the corner, and it will lock you in to this death animation. It locks you into it. You can't even do anything to avoid it. And I'm not talking about you turn super sharp. I'm talking just barely turn too far. No, it doesn't affect the bike. I just proved that to you. The deformation does not affect the bike. I just proved that to you. If it did, and see, this track may have a little bit of pre-made. I just proved that to you, though. I showed you going, completely crossing over the deformed ruts, and the tire was not moving at all. That's all the proof you need. No, it's not affecting the bike. It's all these other elements that's tricking you into thinking it's affecting the bike in the corners, and it's not. This game is hilariously bad. Like, hilariously bad. By the way, any arcade motocross game that feels like you have to use the clutch anywhere other than the start is bullshit. Period. That's not really proper arcade gaming to feel like you have to use the clutch somewhere. This was a thing I really hated with Alive. Felt like you had to pull that clutch in and dump the clutch every single time you landed to get that little clutch boost, which if the clutch is boosting you that much, then you've not properly made your game. Period. If that clutch is really boosting you that much out of a corner where you feel like you need to use it, you've not built your arcade motocross game properly. Period. A simulator's different because obviously you're trying to get realistic clutch level shit going on, but for an arcade motocross game, that's a unnecessary feature. It's kind of like an actual seat bounce button, like in the Unleashed Untamed days. Those were cool back in those days because that was for their time. But once you got to Reflex where you no longer had a actual seat bounce button and everything still worked great, you still was able to pull up on the bike and, seat bounce the bike and stuff like that without an actual seat bounce button. Now there's no point for a seat bounce button. You see what I'm saying? There's literally no point. And I've seen a couple people say that about, well, I clutch in the corner and it helps me power out of the corners in this game. I mean, holy shit, it ain't doing that much. I mean, even from what I'm seeing right here, it ain't doing that much. It's funny to me because in most games, it's fucking pointless using a clutch. It is pointless. If you have enough momentum and you're getting around that track, there ain't no fucking point in using a clutch. No point. And I don't know what you boys are saying about a clutch really doing anything in this game, because I can't feel it. It ain't really doing anything. Just telling you, bruh. Whatever dumping the clutch in the corner you think it's doing, if you would have just got more momentum in the first place, you wouldn't even be having to pull the clutch in. And even still, I don't think it's really doing anything. So, there you go. Micro. Whatever the fuck it could be doing is micro here. What's up, minion? Yeah, in all reality, really, a arcade motocross game should come down to, obviously, you have a clutch on the start. That's really what the clutch is for in an arcade motocross game, okay? And you have your clutch on the start, you have your gas and your brake, and you have your leaning forward, backwards, left, and right, and then you have your steering left and right. And that's really all there should be to it. There shouldn't be any other little elements or, you know, fucking buttons that you have to hit. There shouldn't be anything else to it. And Reflex is perfect proof of that. It is the goated arcade motocross game, and that's all it really has to it. Clutch on the start, gas, brake, lean forward, back, left, right, and turn left, right. That's all it's got. They don't have no actual seat bounce button. You can still get the bike to seat bounce if you lean properly, but it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to have all those stupid little extra mechanics that don't really directly, integrally go with the physics, you know? A simulator's a little bit different. But I'm talking about arcade motocross game where you're just trying to have fun on it, you know? But yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple guys say that, though, in comments and stuff. I'm not just running off a home dog in chat here. I've seen a couple guys say stuff like, well, I use the clutch in the corner in MXGP 2021, and it does this, this, and that. No, it doesn't. It straight up doesn't. And it shouldn't, by the way. So that's actually a good thing, but your clutch really, if it's giving you that much of a boost out of a corner, it's actually a flaw more than it is a proper gameplay element to an arcade motocross game. You know what I mean? If you have a certain element that feels like it's giving you enough of a boost on the bike that you have to do it everywhere, basically, then it's a flaw to the way it was created. That's exactly how the dumping the clutch on Alive is. I mean, you get a noticeable boost by dumping the clutches every time you land off of a jump. It's insane what it does on Alive. And that's a flaw to the way they designed the clutch system of that game. It should have not given you that much of a boost. Period. I mean, period. But, yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, if you've got enough throttle and you're carrying enough momentum, you know, you don't, like, just dive bomb it on the inside and really try to... But even still, I mean, even still, it's like taking your finger to hit the clutch and then get on the gas and then dump the clutch. You're also losing speed because you're on the gas with the clutch on, right? So then therefore you have no throttle actually to the tire on the ground. So even if it gave you a little bit of a boost, just the time it took where you was on the... See, hitting the clutch in a way is almost like hitting the brake, which is slowing you down. That's not a faster way to do anything unless you're in a certain game like Alive, where that clutch boost is about 3 to 4 times as much of a boost as it should be. Then it's making up for getting on that, you know, getting on the brake versus the clutch. You see what I'm saying? But like in a game like this, you might as well just be on the brake and then right back on the gas versus getting on the clutch. You see what I mean? Trust me, dog. There's no point in using the clutch in this game. Absolutely no point. Unless on the start, right? Obviously. But other than that, no point. Like, you can use that clutch all you want to, dog. I'm just telling you, it ain't really doing anything for you. It ain't really doing anything for you. Yeah, I don't use the right stick to lean either. You really can't much in this game, or it will jank the physics out terribly. Yeah, there's not really... Yeah, the clutch just shuts down your power more than it gives you a boost, therefore not worth using anywhere other than the start. Alive, on the other hand, the clutch boosts you more than it would slow you down. Therefore, it's worth doing, especially after every jump phase. Even with the live, though, I mean, most people don't really use a whole lot of clutch in a corner on a live. It's more so when you land off of a jump, right? Because that doesn't have a whole lot to do with, you know, when you're in the air, obviously you're not going to lose any ground momentum by getting on the clutch. So you can basically already have that clutch ready to pop, giggity, before you land on a live. And then it gives you that little jolt, like you kind of hit the NOS button real quick when you land. But even doing that here in this game, it just doesn't create enough of a boost to warrant doing that, which is good. This is how it should be. The clutch shouldn't do that. I feel like that was actually a core flaw to Alive. That's the thing where arcade motocross games are very different than real life. You know, you start getting into clutch in real life, but even on a 4-stroke in real life, I mean, you know, they always tell you, get off that motherfucking clutch. Because it's basically creating the equivalent of useless wheel spin. It's pretty much, you're not going anywhere, you know? Brake and gas is the definition of stopping and going. Clutch is the definition of stopping and not going anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So, but obviously on a 2-stroke in real life, you have to be using that clutch to get that power band, especially on a 125. I've done a lot of that riding in real life. 125, you got to be a clutch daddy. But as far as 4-strokes with that bottom end torque, there's no point really. Even though I'll be the first one to admit I use my clutch too much even on a 4-stroke in real life, just because I learned how to ride a real life dirt bike really on a 125. So it's created some bad habits for me, but that's the only reason you'd ever use a clutch in real life, though, really, is to get the RPMs up, you know, more than you can by just having that wheel on the dirt. But in these video games, though, clutch is just a starting thing, man. That's all it is. That's all it should be. Because that would be way too hard to try to design it to where, like, you could clutch up a 2-stroke in one of these games and get it to really jolt that power more than the 4-stroke in the game. That'd be hard to implement that. You know, it'd be hard to make that element like real life. Super hard. But yeah, even like this track right here, you know, you could get very tricked up into thinking that these ruts are physical very easily. You could get so easily tricked up in that, but it's not the fucking deformation itself. That's not what's giving you that feeling. It's the controller vibration. It's that micro pre-made roughness around the whole track, more than, you know, previous Milestone games. So you're getting a little more of that, you know, shake to the controller and shit like that. All of that plays into tricking people into thinking they're actually hitting a rut, a deformed, solid, physical, deformed rut. Every bit of that is playing into that, tricking you into thinking that, without a doubt. Oh, just a little patience, yeah. What y'all boys up to today? What y'all boys doing today? I'd like to hear it in the chat. And when I say clutch boosting, I'm talking about like it's enough of a boost that it becomes the meta of the game. You know what I mean? Where it's like, obviously a clutch, if you're sitting there wide open, obviously the bike is going to be slowing down a little bit if you're wide open with the clutch held in. So you're slowing down, and then when you dump it, it's going to feel somewhat like a boost because you've slowed your bike down, you know? But the whole trick there is you don't want it to make it enough of a boost to where it becomes that meta where you're constantly using that as like a little exploiting tactic to get the bike to go faster everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Did I just pick the same fucking track? What the? I don't know what I just did right there. My bad. Let me get, sorry, I don't know what the fuck I just did. Let me get on a different track here. Or was that, yeah. Oh, I thought I was on that one. Either way, let's get on this one here. Barneasy hitting us with it. I'd rather play Cookie Clicker than this game. Yeah. Barneasy, we've literally, I couldn't even test my custom track that I made on here. It bugged it out where I couldn't even test the custom track at all. Went in there and tried to make like a Supercross style track. When I went to test the track and I would hit the gas, the bike was stuck. It wouldn't even move. I couldn't even test it. Yeah, if the clutch is helping you in this game, you're going too slow. That's all I got to say about that. If you feel like the clutch is helping you go faster in this game, you're either A, not carrying enough speed into the corner, or B, you're just going too slow in the corner or cutting the corner too tight or some shit. That's the only way I can even fathom that you would get tricked up and thinking a clutch is helping you here. Just a little patience, yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty common little thing I see in some of these arcade games. You know, some of these guys like to try to think they've figured out some little, you know, some skill, some technique in the game. And most of the time, as long as it's not an exploit like it is on a live, most of the time it's all bullshit. It really comes down to more of just your gas and brake. Most of the time it's that way. Just a little patience, yeah. But just like with any motocross game, you know, dudes like to try to think they've figured it out more than everybody else. Well, if you just do this on the bike, then you'll fucking do this and that. You know, that's a very common thing that happens. Look at the rocking back and forth. Oh my God. Yeah, you might want to smooth out that steering a little bit, Milestone. That might help your case a little, big dog. What's up, my dude? Ski. We got a little PSU crypto guy. What's up, big dog? Appreciate that membership, buddy. Appreciate that membership, dude. I'll get you in that dude ski roll of my Discord. Just make sure you DM me on Instagram, Spencer Turley, no spaces and no capital letters. I will get you in that dude ski roll of the Discord, big dog. Unless you're already in the Discord, and if that's the case, then let me know on Discord. Or let me know, even still, in a DM on Insta, and I'll get you in there. Just a little patience. Finals week, baby. Ugh. Yeah, I pretty much despised anything to do with any kind of school work. Pretty much despised it, dog. Okay, yeah, you're missing the point, dude, in chat. I care nothing about going fast in this game. This will probably be the last bit of content I ever make on this game unless I'm going back to lampoon it. So, yeah, there was never a time where I cared anything about this game. There is no, I do not care about, let me try to get a faster lap time, let me try to even remotely figure the game out. I care nothing about it. When your game is this buggy and shitty to begin with, that's what you get. That's exactly what you get, dude. I care nothing about it. We are simply going through the motions to lampoon this game and show people how bad it is. That's it. Oh, yeah, track editor's fucked. Oh, it is fucked. Man. These old legacy tracks. National Lampoon's Motocross Vacation. Hell yeah. See, that looks like deformation right there. You see that? It's like, did they technically run practice? Or what the fuck? That's got to be what that is, right? Yeah, it's got to be. Oh, and that's, you know, you would expect on some of the sandier tracks for the deformation to be a little bit more cushiony, a little more pushable. But it's that way on every track. No matter if you're on a brownie mix dirt track or whatever, it's more cushiony than the most sand track you've ever rode on in your life. It's even more than that. It's to the point where you don't even feel it at all. anything you feel in this game is already there before that deformation goes on it. You see what I'm saying? It's already there beforehand. And that's how they have tricked you boys up here. Just a little patience, yeah. And to give you a perfect example, you can go to the most sandy track on Reflex, aka Sandwick, and it will make physical ruts on that in like a lap that you can directly feel instantly. Even on the most sandy track of Reflex. Still. That should be your proof right there, bruh. Oh, yeah. And I think TKO Smokey, the Dudeski, he mentioned this in one of his videos. He talked about, like, you know, when he was still only playing console motocross games, that's what had his mindset very, like, in this little box, you know. He didn't realize all of the, you know, potential with MX bikes, MX Sim, you know, Reflex on PC, all this kind of shit. So it gave him a very different idea of when the new Milestone game would come out. He would think a different way about it, but once he started getting into PC gaming, he realized, oh shit, this is a whole different animal, you know. All right, boys, I got to take a fat piss. I will be right back. Well, let me get where you can actually sit here and look at this fucking deformation. Hang on. There we go. Watch how it just slices right through that top 6-inch layer of not collidable dirt or sand or whatever. Watch how it just slices through that and doesn't actually dig any further down. Keep an eye on that for me. I'll be right back. Oh, we got the controller vibrating out here, dude. TP. We got that TP, dude. Man, just a little patience. But do you see what the ruts have done there? See how it's just sliced them in a different way? It is not actually dug down any further. It's just sliced a different visual spot where the rut is. See what I'm saying? And you know, if that's the way Milestone wants to design their games, that's fine and all, but you can't call this physical terrain deformation. You know what I'm saying? That's the separation. That's the difference. You can't, you know, they can do this little visual thing all they want, but like, you can't call this actual. And to me, that's what makes deformation deformation. If it's not physical, then it's not even terrain deformation. It's just a visual thing to the game. It's a graphical thing at that point. This isn't deformation. This is graphical ruts being formed. See what I'm saying? This ain't even deformation, bruh. All we need is a little patience. Yeah, yeah. See, they got a little bit of that pre-made roughness right there going into that corner. And for the most part, most of these Milestone games previously didn't really have hardly any. I mean, it had a little bit in some of the previous games, but for the most part, they've not had a lot of that. So that in itself is making people feel a different kind of way about this game because it's got a little bit pre-made, I repeat, pre-made, not the deformation, pre-made little braking bumps going right into that, you know, that corner. So I think that in itself is tricking some of you boys. You're thinking that deformation is making that roughness feeling or whatever, and it's not. It's that pre-made little micro braking bump vibe that this game kind of has to it. Just a little patience, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much identical deformation to, I think it would have been like Supercross 2 or one of those games in there. It was very, very similar to, it's very similar to that. They were super visual in those games as well. Super visual. But see, you got to remember, even on a track like this, you know, you can see all those deformed looking ruts going into a corner, but they already had like a pre-made built-up terrain berm on the inside. That's why the AI looks like they're taking these ruts. They're actually hitting that pre-made inside berm is what they're doing here. Some corners don't have it, some of them do, but you get what I'm saying. But again, for a sand track, it's a little more acceptable to have, you know, soft and cushiony ruts, but again, this is not really soft and cushiony ruts. This is no physical feeling at all terrain deformed ruts. That's two different things there, you know what I mean? Again, good example is Reflex on Sandwick. You know, that's soft cushion blowout style ruts, but you can still feel them and they can still actually make hardcore inside ruts. See right here, there was that pre-made built up. You can see it right there. See that built up pre-made berm? So you have the built up inside pre-made berm there, terrain-wise. Then you have all of the quote-unquote deformation, graphical, visual shit all within that inside berm. And that's what's tricking you into thinking when you hit this corner, see, you're hitting that berm. You're not hitting the actual deformed rut. Milestone's got their little tactics, though. Yeah, golden era of arcade motocross games was like MX Unleashed to Reflex. That was without a doubt the golden era. No doubt about it. That will never be matched again. That is by far. And Further Time, oh my gosh. You don't even have to mention Further Time, but if we want to go there, you know, you start talking about Further Time, then it really ain't even a question what the golden era of motocross gaming was. Back when you could fly a plane in a MX game, yeah. Golf carts, fucking... Yeah, specifically MX versus ATV Unleashed and even MX Unleashed, those really had that classic vibe to them. And then Untamed was kind of different, you know, and then Reflex just blew them all out of the water completely. And then it hasn't really matched up to that since. Hasn't really been able to get back to, you know, and I feel like Unleashed and Untamed were awesome for their time. I mean, obviously, when you go back and look at them now, they're a little bit outdated, but again, for their time, they were unbelievable. Look at the bike. And then Reflex as well. Reflex is still unbelievable, but certainly for its time, whew, unimaginable for its time. Unbelievable still today. Just a little patience. Yeah, I don't know where this franchise has gotten that bug going up a hill, where the bike will try to turn into a crotch rocket on you when you go up a hill and get fucking fishtail all over the countryside. Not really sure where they start getting that vibe. I haven't really felt that in most other Milestone games, so I don't know where they're getting that from. Be interesting to see if they fix that part to the physics. See that right there? See how the bike, once it starts to go into that quote-unquote sliding out animation, there's nothing you can do. It's going to go down. You're like watching this death animation of yourself, basically, and there's no saving it. You can't, let's lean this way and try to save it, you know. A lot of the other Milestone games do have the ability to kind of correct your mistake and actually save yourself. This game's more about like, you're not sliding or you're dead. There's really not a whole lot of in between, which therefore equates to the too much traction, street bike level traction, janky levels of too much traction. That's how I would classify this. Yeah, we'll see what they do this first update, Doug. We'll see what they do, bruh. Boys, I appreciate y'all guys tuning into this stream. We had a little bit of fun comparing back to MXGP3. We had us a little bit of fun here. Look at the bike. Oh, man. Just a little patience. Yeah. Shout out to PSU with the membership. I appreciate you, buddy. We will be back tomorrow. Trying to get some face cam videos going. Obviously, we got these streams popping off as well. We've got a lot of good things coming, but yeah, that's about all I can handle today of this game. It's about all I can handle today. We encountered a lot more bugs than I even realized were in this game, but oh man, do not buy this game. It's terrible. I will see y'all boys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Later, dudes.